What up, survivors? Welcome to D180, the horror movie podcast, taking you on a ride. Thanks for riding with us. I'm AJ.
I'm Janae.
And I'm Brittany.
And moving on with our fourth movie this month in our theme, Click. It's actually kind of odd because speaking of fourths, we don't have a fourth. We probably won't ever have a fourth. But we're talking about The Crab from 1996.
You mean we not talking about that remake that never really happened?
No, God, please, no.
And then
I still haven't seen it yet.
you don't need to.
Watch it. Don't watch it.
You don't need to.
We never agree like this.
We
normally have a little bit of space.
Shit. No. But yeah, besides the fact that you about to get your swooped by him, no, don't watch that. Don't. Okay, you can do what you want, but just they hyped it up so much, and it's not supposed. It's supposed to be a reimagining. Okay, I'm not gonna say that because I'll let you find out for yourself if you want to watch it. But it failed on all cylinders, in my opinion.
I don't know what kind of credit you trying to get his movie, but tell
no,
that shit
I
back.
just didn't. I don't. It's something I don't want to tell her. I'd rather her figure that out first.
I know what you're saying.
I had put it on my list.
Don't take it off. You remember that other movie I told y'all about, and I was like, if you want to watch it, whenever you see something that's newer, put that on your watch list first.
Yeah.
The Craft should go right under that one.
So
that way you never get to
hyped it up so bad. This is for the new generation. I'm like, the new generation don't even fuck with it like you thought they was a Ooh. Child. It's, put it this way. I feel the same way I feel about the Craft Legacy as I feel about the 2013 Carrie remake. I feel the same way. And it's sad because those are both directed by women. So you would think I would automatically be like, yes, they get it. And baby, no. Just no.
Nice.
Was y'all ever the new person in school? Like, did you transfer schools or some shit? And
Yes.
how was it?
A culture shock. Okay, so let me set the scene. I was in third grade and I just started this new elementary school in third grade. I started kindergarten in Montgomery County, and Montgomery County is a melting pot, especially back in the early 90s. So you have mostly white kids, you got like a sprinkle of black, and then you have like Hispanic and Asian kids, but mostly white kids. And so my kindergarten and first and second grade years, I was over there. And so I had a very multicultural experience. Then in third grade, I moved to PG County. And when I went in elementary school, I had a huge culture shock. It was all black kids. And I was confused as to why these kids was acting so bad and like this. Like the teacher leave the classroom and they standing on top of tables and chairs and shit. And like, it was just fighting. It was just bad. And I was like very confused. I was very confused.
I can relate because at first I had to think about it. But I remember in season 1, I feel like we've had this conversation before. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember what episode it was. But when I was in third grade, I went to a holiness school, very much similar to the school that the girls went to in this movie. It wasn't called Mass, but we definitely sat in the auditorium / church for like the first hour of the day and like read scripture and things like that. So I was a straight A student, and my mom was concerned that I probably wasn't getting challenged enough. And I already had started school early. So she was just like, I just want to make sure. Transfer me to a public school. And I was like, what is this? I felt like Katie and Mean Girls. I was like, what is going on? The kids were cursing. They were not wearing their uniform. I'm like, what is, if you don't put me back in my holiness school?
I wanted to go back so bad.
I was not, like, I made friends quickly because the girl who lived across the street from me, we were actually friends. And she was a grade up from me, but she like took me under her wing. So it wasn't like I was alienated by myself, but I was still just like.
And you know the sad part, I couldn't go back to that county because right at the end of second grade, it was like the end of the school year, I threatened this girl and I almost got expelled. And so when that happened, they found out that I didn't even live in the county anyway, and I wasn't even supposed to be going to that school. So they were just like, you know what, we're not going to expel you. It's almost the end of the school year. Just go back to your county next year. And so that's how I ended up in PG. Because my parents were surely going to milk it, and I was going to stay in Montgomery County schools. Like, they was going to finesse that as long as possible. But, yeah.
Damn, did your folks at the school think you was a gang leader too?
They didn't think that I was a gang leader, but that little girl mama, okay, so they thought my parents were gang banging because I didn't say that I was going to do anything to the girl. She wouldn't leave me alone. And yeah, actually, no, I can go from 0 to 100 if you don't leave me alone. And the little girl wasn't leaving me alone. I was trying to hang out with a different group of friends that day because, like we said last week, I hopped from friend group to friend group to friend group depending on my mood. And she just wouldn't leave me alone, and she was being extra clingy, and I was annoying. And I basically told her if she didn't leave me alone, then my parents was going to come and kill her and her family.
What did he say?
And it was a little white girl. And she got really upset, and she told her grandmother, and my nana to this day can't stand that lady grandmother. She was like, that was a mean old nasty woman. She had the devil in her. She was evil. And she told her grandmother, and her grandmother like wanted me to go to jail and shit, wanted to press charges and all this other type of stuff. I'm like, girl, I'm in second grade.
A child.
I am in second grade. And it didn't fact that we were black.
Yes, I was like, it was because you were black.
That's really all it was.
Oh,
because he was black. Because he was black.
And then like Columbine and stuff had just happened, so people were very sensitive about threats and all. The girl just wouldn't leave me alone, and I was irritated.
Listen, bookmark on because I was black, because we got a big ass can of worms to open over that. But this movie,
I truly do. I truly do got something to say about that, but that shit pisses me off to this day. You know what?
Listen, to this day, because it's still a thing, and I'm just like, hey, are you?
Did you look at IMDb? You seen that shit? I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Okay, wait, I'm gonna pause myself. Bookmark this shit like you said, because we gonna come back to it. It had a bitch upset.
I damn near don't even want to tell y'all where the movie's streaming because the place, okay, like I told y'all, I've been saying my VPN is working now. I haven't looked everywhere, so it's probably in other places. But on Prime, I'm gonna call y'all out. Actually,
Freebie.
Let's do it.
Freebie.
Prime. Freebie. Why the fuck is Rachel True's name not on the credit?
She sure as the fuck is not. On IMDb, she is not on the credit. It got them 3 main bitches, but she is the 4th.
Before her in the pictures.
Let's just be honest. None of them motherfuckers was famous before when this movie came out. Not a single one of them. Because old long-faced ass Sydney, this was the movie that they got the first release. Okay, so they talking about, well, your name's not mentioned because you're not as famous.
She was on Party of Five.
She was on a TV show called Party of Five.
Party of Five. And then Fairuza Balk, she was baby famous. So, she was on the Oz shit and she did like something else. Robin Tunney had just did Empire Records, didn't she? Yeah.
This was her first wide release film though. So yeah, she was TV famous, but she wasn't movie famous.
Yes, but TV famous was a thing back then, especially if like Party of Five was syndicated television. What was it, ABC?
Yeah.
So she on everybody TV screens at night when everybody families be around the TV because at that time you watch TV together.
So they was looking at this long-faced ass bitch all
look, I'm letting you slide just because of what we talking about, so I'm taking all the slander, but hey.
what she do to defend her? Okay. If you
let me tell look, bookmark, because I'm gonna get in everybody ass as soon as we get to the cast. Let's go right ahead and quickly get into
Park recommendations.
Okay, so once again, I've been doing this, so y'all should be used to it. I'm a cheat. On rewatch of this movie, this definitely ride with me. Gave me vibes of episode 62, Death Becomes Her from 1992. And in that, I think it was just because our main characters, when you think about it, they fighting over something that it's a toxic friendship. That's basically what it is. And that was the tie for me.
Yeah, this is
But
a very toxic friendship.
ooh. I see right through you. Like I couldn't recover myself because that is hilarious.
You're gonna have to fuck with me a little bit hard on this one. Beautiful Creatures, 2013. Why? I know you're like, bitch, what? Listen to me. It is a beautiful gothic tale right there. That's how it fits. But it gives you all the magical vibes. Because literally, there's magic in this bitch, and there's magic in that movie too. So we're gonna fuck with it. And it got some little nice ass scenes dealing with nature, and it's all beautiful and shit to look at the surroundings. But most importantly, you have the point of view character that has powers and don't know what the fuck going on. And they got pools on both sides, like dark and light duality in this bitch. And that's how it fits. So instead of friends, you got fucking family. And you throw a little love in there.
I've never heard of this.
Beautiful Creatures is not, it's an okay movie. If you like to look at it, you can watch it. It's a whole teen book series that, when they was on that tip of turning books into movies. This one of them.
Should we give IMDb's 3 recommendations for this movie?
No, fuck them.
They have 3 movie recommendations.
What do they say?
They say that this movie is a combination of Carrie,
which I can.
Which one did they say? The new one?
Right, which one?
They didn't specify. They just said Carrie because of the supernatural teens getting revenge on bullies. Then they said Heathers,
which I guess I could see that, of course,
because you have your girl Click terrorizing everyone.
Right.
And then the last one is Witches of Eastwick, because you have a clique of witches suddenly coming into power and wreaking havoc.
I have not seen the Witches of Eastwick as an adult. I've seen it as a child, which means that I have no idea what's going on in that movie. But that movie is so pretty. From what I remember, I just remember the one scene of Jack Nicholson walking into the room and you got Cher and everybody just parlayed everywhere. And I'm like, damn, I want to live like that. I need to watch it so I can experience it as an adult and actually understand what's happening. But survivors, if you have any park recommendations that fit today's ride, let us know on our Twitter or down in the DMs.
It go down.
This movie has always been here. As I say all the time, my sisters are older than me, and I don't mean that like they're eons older than me. No, like they were teens of the 90s, very jealous of that. But I definitely remember them watching this movie and me just seeing it because I'm around them by default, but obviously had no idea what was happening. I just see things happening on the screen. I'm like, oh, that looks cool. I don't think I watched this with the full understanding until I was about 12, 13, which is like a cool age to like get into this at. And since then, I mean, I've obviously revisited and I catch things that did not age well as far as graphic designs. But I mean, other than that, it's still a really good story that still holds up to me.
I don't know when the hell I first saw this movie. No clue. I think it was TV. I know I didn't see it in theaters. I know I watched it on TV. I enjoyed it. I've watched it so many times.
Right.
I even know I watched the clip. Well, not the clip. I watched the movie where you didn't actually know why the fuck Rochelle was fucking over old girl because you didn't know what the fuck she said. I don't know why they took that part out because then you just think she the fucking bully. But I know I seen that part. Well, lack of a part. And I watched this movie so many goddamn times. I even saw the part where in one segment that bitch ain't had no scars on her arm when she was walking, but the next time you seen him, and I was like, ooh, maybe y'all should have looked at that a little harder. But yeah.
I think I might have missed that, but
It's that scene when they're all walking together, the sun shining, they got their black on, and they looking good, and they're still doing the teen bonding moment. So it's during that when they're all walking, and if you look at her arm, she has no scars on them. But when she goes back to the doctor, she got them bitches.
it's probably because she's like, if her arms are covered, I could see them being like, and especially it's the 90s. The tape is super grainy, and now when you watch it, you can see a lot more flaws in it. But that's probably, I would imagine, because I wouldn't go through that. Now we will go through the issues of making sure that, well, not everybody, we will go through making sure the continuity lines up, because there's other things that don't line up here too. But I could see them then being like, we're not about to put this Freddy Krueger makeup on you right now because you got these sleeves on, so ain't no point. Oh no, she was heavy with the Freddy. I said, damn, Tony Gardner, you should have, where were you at? Like when we needed you, where were you, sir?
This was actually my first watch.
What?
I know, right? I thought that I thought that I had saw this before. But then as I was watching it, I'm like, yeah, I ain't never seen this. And that's probably why I didn't watch The Craft Legacy, because I was like, let me go watch The Craft before I watch this other remake.
Though you should see my face right now. Usually when Johnny says she ain't seen a movie, I'm like, oh, okay, you know, like we've gotten over that initial shock, like back in season 1, back long time ago when we reformatted the show. But this movie and all the shit you be doing, and you ain't seen this movie?
I never see it.
Like, I would expect you to be like, this would be like, this is I love this movie. I am kerfuffled right now. I am schmeckledorf. That's not even a word, and I'm with it. Like, I'm sorry. I be speaking about. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop one day.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. But I ain't never seen it.
That's great.
So this is my first watch.
I'm extra curious now. We're all curious.
I need to know.
Well, we'll find out at the end.
You right.
Yeah.
It's okay. Hopefully it won't be a Goonies level episode.
Love to start.
I couldn't resist. Shit, I'm on a roll.
She keeping it real cool right now, because I'm surprised she ain't. Ooh, well. Okay.
She gave me the ugliest look I done seen. I was like, damn. Why you gotta be like that? But
why you gotta be like that?
I said it was a good coming of age movie.
Does she know I'm sleepy?
You know what?
And that's why she try and talk. Because she know I don't got the energy.
Oh yeah, you know what? Let's
It's
just
2
keep it
fire
moving.
signs in the room and an air sign. I'm just gonna sit down and let the 2 fire signs hash it out.
Oh wait, guess what? Guess what it is, y'all? Wait, it ain't time yet. Damn. Fuck.
Time for what?
I thought it was Leo season. It's not, but it almost is.
Girl.
Y'all, we less than 30 days away from my birthday. Okay. Well, actually, when this comes out, I do believe it'll be Leo season. It's Leo season, y'all.
Child. Anyways,
My boyfriend a Leo. He get on my nerves.
Yeah, my boyfriend is a Leo, but I think I got the sweetest one in the pack, so I'm not complaining.
You're right.
I have
Besides
an
me.
angel.
Besides me, because I'm a wonderful
Brittany, you
person.
are a demon, okay?
Oh, Jesus. Oh. Well, guess what? I'm a wonderful demon, and that's
Right.
all that matters.
You
But
are a
fuck
lovely
it.
demon, but you
Thank
are a
you.
demon, okay?
I'm a fun demon.
Yeah, you know, I'm not gonna deny you on that one, but
We're going to have a great time together.
Jesus, that scares me.
All of us. This film was directed by Andrew Fleming. I don't know if I can say these people's names right, but that's not my fucking problem because I need to give Rachel True her respect. And so I don't have to respect any of their fucking names. But anyways, it was produced by Douglas Wick and a few other folks. And this film was actually written by Andrew Fleming and Peter Filardi. That ain't how you say your name. It's not my fucking fault. Give Rachel True her motherfucking respect. And it was distributed by Columbia Pictures. Now, y'all, this film did not have no motherfucking money. I know this sounds like a lot, but it ain't a lot. They only had $15 million. That's That's it. And I just want to put out one point. The only website that I have found that gives Rachel True her flowers is fucking Wikipedia. Everybody else, when they list the main cast, they do Robin Tooney, who was Sarah, who, you know, that bitch had a wig on this whole movie. I don't know how to say the F word, bitch, but
Perusa Bulk?
yeah, Fairuza Balk.
What? Sis, time out. I know we got heat, but Faruza, you don't know how to say Faruza?
No.
I feel like you would have been right in line with her because this is your villainera story right here. Like,
Well, actually, I like Nancy, okay? There's nothing wrong with her. Nothing at all. She just had a little moment. If they would have been true friends, wouldn't nothing happen. And then we got Nev Campbell. Y'all know this bitch is Sydney. She been at the park before.
Second appearance in the park. I don't know why. I just feel like she's been here more than that, but no, we just like her. Brittany doesn't for whatever reason, but that's
Nope.
fine.
But she played Bonnie.
Which is
Remove my
crazy because
scars.
originally they were gonna have her as Sarah, but when Robin Tooney auditioned, they was like, "No, we want you as Sarah," and she was like, "But I want to be Bonnie," and they was like, "Girl, you're gonna be Sarah. Just deal with it, okay? Put this wig on."
And I'm gonna go out of order, but we have Skeet Ulrich as Chris. And listen, Chris, and of course y'all know this. Skeet, like Skeet, motherfuckers, and Neve were together in Scream after this film. Yay. And then we have Rachel True. Now this is where I'm about to lay my horse down because this is gonna be a little mix of facts and me, you know, getting off on a couple things. Rachel True played Rochelle. And let me go ahead and get into this just a tiny little bit. First, she wasn't going to get this role. Like the person she had, what do they call her manager? She had to get a whole nother manager because none of these motherfuckers were children. None of them were teenagers. We already know that they hire adults to play teenagers. And she was around 30 at the time. And her first manager was like, no, and didn't believe in her. So she had to fire that motherfucker, get somebody else and come get in this role.
Right.
And this role was supposed to be for a bulimic white woman.
Right.
Literally, that's how it was fucking written. I'm not just paraphrasing. That's what it was. They decided they were gonna put it down, flip it, and reverse it, and be like, you know what? We don't want you to deal with bulimia. We want you to deal with racism.
Which does not make sense to me because, okay, first of all, let's just point out Rachel got this role because she was the best out of everybody that auditioned. So let's just put that out there. And like you said, the role was switched once she got the role. She could have still had an eating disorder. And it could have been stemming from her being bullied racially. Like, it's so many things they could have done to weave that into the story. It's just the way that her character was handled in general. There are scenes deleted from the movie of them showing her family life. Like, clearly we can see that this is a biracial character. What if we don't know if like she had a white mom, black dad, or vice versa? That would have been interesting to see because we know when we look at mixed kids, we know that there is a difference in how they act based on which parent is which. We know if they have a white mom, we know they're gonna act a certain way. And that's not the case for everybody, but majority of the time that is the case. And if they have a black mom, we know what the case is. But that would have just been so interesting to give her those two issues on top of each other and just not be like, you know what, you African American, let's just make your issue racism. What? And then you don't even really do anything with it. It's just very surface. We don't even, the bully doesn't even really get what they deserve for real, for real. It's like that common arc of the bully realizing they was wrong, but we don't even see that. Like, we literally don't see that. Yeah, she get her hair pulled out, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But so that could have happened to anybody. That's not a...
Really and truly, they didn't even do that. Because when we saw her and she was crying, talking about, what did I do to deserve this? Bitch, you racist. Like, it was, oh, she don't feel good. Her reflection don't want to look at her. Why? She's literally racist. Racist as hell. She hasn't repented. She hasn't said, I'm sorry. All this bitch doing is losing hair in the shower. We all do that. Okay? You comb your hair a little too much, you might lose some naps. It's not my fault she lost a little extra.
What makes it worse in this situation is, to this day, Rachel True has been excluded from promo, press junkets, all types of things. Let's just go ahead and just put it all out there. It seems like, for whatever reason, that she was left out. It just all turns to and points to, excuse me for lack of better words, that she was African American, which makes no sense. This girl's on the poster. This girl is literally in a movie about 4 girls needing to come together to make whatever this is work. And you exclude her. The MTV Awards, sis was literally sitting in the audience watching her 3 castmates accept an award or announce one of the awards. I don't know which one it was. It don't fucking matter. But then years later, horror conventions are a thing. The 3 girls, the 3 castmates are at these horror conventions, and it's not like Rachel True's booking fee was too high or she has schedule conflicts. Y'all literally was just not emailing her and even asking her, did she want to do this and why? I don't understand.
You know what? And let's throw Showtime into the mix just because we need to. So there's this whole Twitter thing where they were crediting the main actors. You know who they didn't credit? Rachel True. Left her slapped the fuck out to the point that she went, retweeted it at their ass, and even said something. And guess what? She still ain't on them. You know what? How she's not credited either? On IMDb. Not on there either. It's just the 3 and not her. They literally leave her the fuck out, and she's a part of the circle. How the fuck you gonna X out some? It's not a circle anymore.
But it also upsets me a little bit that, and I see this 2 ways because she spoke on this as well. Feruza, Robin, Nev, hello, y'all not gonna say nothing? Y'all just gonna sit there. And I get it, because like Rachel said, she was like, I didn't make a big deal about that because I'm not trying to stop nobody bag. I feel you, I get it. It was actually Feruza that was the one that reached out to me and said, I want you to be here. I don't know what's going on if they haven't contacted you, but did you know we were doing this? Like, do you want to come? Can you come? Like, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's cool and all, but you're not saying nothing still. You saying stuff behind the scenes. You can't be an ally behind scenes. In the
You
dark.
really can't.
That's not how
Like,
that works.
They should. I don't get it. Like, all of them went and got their money, but you don't hear them saying shit. Not a motherfucking thing. She has articles to this day spanning years where she's talking about this shit. I don't hear nothing from them. They don't say shit. Nothing. Just a couple other notes to mention besides how they fucked over Rachel True and are still fucking over her to this day. They used a real Wiccan consult, Pat Devin, who is known as the High Priestess of Covenant of the Goddess, in order to ensure the spells and incantations they were saying was realistic. Side note, Mana ain't real, okay?
Oh yeah, we know that.
Not real. She made sure that he wasn't real because she didn't want teenagers out here invoking an actual spirit or deity just for the hell of it. That's just how bad things happen. Also, for you practical fans who like practical effects, the snakes and insects and all of the wonderful gooey creatures, they're all real, okay? They're not fake. That's a real fucking snake every time you see one. That motherfucker is slithering. In the behind the scenes, he talked about how for Nancy, because it gave all the reasoning behind all the teenagers, but Nancy's one of the ones I don't pay attention to, that witchcraft was just another form of addiction for her. So just keep that in mind for how she acts, because she got a very addictive type personality, and it shows.
No, I think that's something definitely worth talking about, because I think that's something a lot of people don't pick up with her character, and I'd be more than glad to expand on that when we get into the review. So with that being said, we can go right ahead and get in line for the queue line.
Step in line. Your number is near. Follow the signs. Your time is here.
All right, y'all. So there are 6 types of elemental witches. Here's the one you are. So our first question is, choose the place you feel most drawn to. So we have a serene lake. And when I say this bitch is serene, it really the fuck is. It got that nice green water that you know is turning that way because of algae, but it's still beautiful to look at. Some mountains, some trees. We got a misty castle. Literally, that shit is just a castle with a long drawn ass bridge, kind of misty. Mountains, like the bitch in Atlanta. Fuck, that's not it. The bitch in Alaska. I wish Atlanta looked like this with all the nice little sky and all the colors and shit. An alpine meadow looks like it came straight out of Midsommar. A cheery greenhouse looks nice, and a somber forest.
I don't know, because I am drawn to the serene lake, but I just feel like that could have been something different. So I guess for me, the one that appeals to me the most is pretty much like the cherry greenhouse. The cherry greenhouse, excuse me.
Honestly, I don't know which one draws me the most. I like water. Fucking love it. But for some reason, the Misty Castle just makes me want to go there. Like, looking at them all, I'm like, I could see me literally walking up. Maybe I'd be a little scared someone's going to kill me, but I'd still go.
Right.
Still go with no problem. That's what I'm picking.
I don't know.
None of these appeal to you?
Not really, to be completely honest. But I'll just go with Serene Lake.
Okay. The next question, what's your favorite season? Fall, spring, winter, summer? And for you indecisive people, we got summer and spring or fall and winter.
Okay, well, at me, bitch. Because I was gonna pick summer and spring.
They should have put fall and spring.
Yeah, they should have put fall and summer, because I would have been better with fall and summer. But yeah, why didn't they do that? That actually would have made me a little more happier, because I'm my happiest from June to November 1st.
I think because fall, they're transitional seasons. So when it goes from like,
Okay, and I'm a transitional bitch, so
I don't know. I don't know why they didn't give y'all the other ones. I guess because they're very similar, but they're only like one off.
I'm just gonna go with my first feeling and go with summer and spring, because the heat just, y'all know me, I love the heat. I love when the world is anew.
Me
going
too.
fall.
Well, I'm going with fall and winter because y'all, I got a thing for dead trees. And Mama talks about me like a dog for this. But I love when them trees lose all their leaves and they're just standing out there like twigs. Those, they are so fucking pretty to me. Like, yes, I love when trees have all their leaves and it's all green. But mind you, your allergies are gonna act the fuck up. There's a bird in there somewhere that might just try to fly down and peck your fucking eyes out or some shit. But you know what you can guarantee? Fall and winter, your clothes are on point because you get fucking layers. Do you fucking hear me? Layers.
I don't like layers.
I'm sorry for you. Sorry for your loss. Sorry.
I just like wearing oversized clothes.
So fall and winter is for your girl. I love that time of year. It's my favorite, actually. And Halloween. Oh, shit. So the next one. What word are you drawn to? Basalt, balance, breathe, beauty, bright, or bumblebee?
Is it because I feel like the obvious answer for me would be balance. But I think I'm drawn to beauty the most. Let's just be honest here. I'm not gonna lie to myself.
Basalt
Bumblebee.
draws me.
Bumblebee for me.
Okay, y'all. Oh, these are pretty. Choose a witchy picture. So we have a picture with, looks like maybe that's rose quartz or amethyst. I think it's amethyst. Some stuff that you burn, nice assortment. The next
It's
picture,
a bundle of sage with some cinnamon and some crystals and some rocks.
and some
and
lavender. I knew the lavender at least. We have, ooh, this one's so pretty. The pumpkins, and someone's putting that, I think that's a fucking skull, and there's some candles lit. Looks nice. We have some nice shiny stones with runes incorporated on them. We have a jar full of a lot of jars. 3 rows full of them bitches. Full of potions.
It's giving Sally from A Nightmare Before Christmas. It makes me think of like her little
Frog's breath.
Oh, I'm not hungry. You love frog's breath.
We have, I think this is a bushel of, is this forget-me-nots? It look like it. This nice ornate mirror, but it's on the back, so you see all the drawing and carvings on engravings on the back. Another little purple ass flower. I think this some candles. Nice apothecary in this bitch. And then the last picture is you have a woman looking up towards the sky with her face kind of covered up by her hair. That's full of some flowers.
I'm going with all the bottles because I too have lots of bottles.
It's like, I don't know if you're talking about alcohol or if you're talking about actual like.
No, I have lots of bottles of different things in here. I just hide them so people don't see them when they go over.
I am attracted to the bottles, but as a kid, and I'm sure I've said this before, I've always been attracted to rocks, crystals, gems. This was the thing, if you're like a 90s baby, 2000s kid, when you would go to like different stores on vacation, they would just have that big vat of all like the gems and stuff. And I would always get a bag of them. To this day, I'm surprised I don't have any with me here, but to this day, I'm always picking those up. I just like looking at them, looking at the patterns, the design, learning what type they are. They've just always intrigued me for whatever reason. So I'm gonna go with the picture of the gems coming out of the vessel with the rings.
If that picture
the runes
didn't have, they're nice and purple. I like them. If that second picture didn't have the skull, which I think is an animal skull and not human, I definitely pick that. But because it does, we're gonna have to back because we do not harm animals over here. Okay, so I would have to say
do what you gotta do.
That is true. I have a whole story about how to do some shit because some animals try to try my baby. You do not fuck with Maslow. It's how you end up finding out whether all dogs go to heaven or not. So I'm gonna have to pick the bundle with the forget-me-nots and that gold mirror because it's so fucking pretty. I must be vain because it was really calling to me. Ooh. All right, y'all. What fall food do you love the most? I added the in there. There's no the. Apple pie, mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, pumpkin spice latte. I hope none of y'all picked that, okay? Just gonna throw that out there. Soup or hot chocolate?
It's between mac and cheese, apple pie. But when is mashed potatoes considered a fall food?
They would just reach you.
And when is mac and cheese considered a fall food?
Johnny, I think you got to realize the engine that we have picked this up from is for our Alfredo aficionados. So they do not apply to us brown people, if you understand what I am saying.
No, I know.
While Janae's making faces and figuring out which one, even though I think she picked mac and cheese.
No, I'm gonna go with apple pie.
I hate pie.
I make a bomb ass apple pie.
Mac and cheese is just
I want some.
It's not a fall requirement for me. Mashed potatoes, I'm gonna eat potatoes in any form. So I think I'm gonna go with soup because hot chocolate is cool and all, but I ain't tripping about it. So I think I'm just gonna go with soup.
Okay, y'all, there's a story behind this. I'm picking hot chocolate. The story is when I was younger, I drank hot chocolate all the fucking time. All of it. If it's hot, I'm drinking it. If it's cold, I'm drinking it. I don't care. I fucking love it. I love the different ways to make it. When I was younger, it was with water. Now that I got older, it's with milk. I know the difference. I'm cultured. I have clues. But I happen to get first, second, and third degree burns from hot chocolate down the entirety of my left arm and leg, and the spots are still there, but you have to look, because if you're not looking, you'll just think it's like a little mark or something. No, complete burns on my shit from hot chocolate, from the marshmallow stuck to my skin. Well, the chocolate burned me, then the marshmallow stuck to my skin. Had to go to the ER. It was fucking terrible, wrapped up like a mummy. Had to drag my whole fucking side, and they kept popping the bumps that came up. It's terrible. Do I still drink hot chocolate? Yes, I fucking love it.
Not you being Bonnie.
Pretty much. Okay, so what's your favorite Halloween candy? This ain't Halloween candy, you lying bitches. Gummy worms.
What do y'all be giving out for Halloween? Because I get all of this.
Yeah.
Where do you be at? You need to come out of Mississippi because y'all be getting treated dirty.
I've had all of these things in my little bucket that I stuck outside my door.
Okay, I sure did.
I mean,
you was getting robbed.
The chocolate bars. Yeah, I just feel like there was more. Like they didn't give like the different brands. Like they just went with fucking gummy worms. I can't say this word and I'm not gonna say it right. So if you want to laugh at it, go ahead. M&M's, Starburst, chocolate bars, lollipops, and everything.
I'm picking everything because let me tell you something, honey. First of all, people was gonna give me extra because I was cute. My costume was cute. And yes, like we would trick or treat throughout like the span of a week. Like we was going different places and my mom would let me eat. She would give me little pieces of the candy I collected. But then at Halloween, oh baby, it was a wrap, honey. I was eating everything. The lollipops, the Starburst, the king size chocolate bars. You hear me? Like, especially if we was going to Maryville Portage in Indiana. All that.
I just want to take a moment to pause to be like, y'all know when I was a kid, I wasn't in Mississippi.
We know that, but you was getting robbed. That makes it even worse.
I wasn't getting robbed. I was trick-or-treating in the DMV area when I stayed in Maryland. And I was trick-or-treating when I was younger in fucking Louisiana. They had candy. Lots of it.
I've never been trick-or-treating in life. But
That's sad.
I know, right? I guess I'll go whenever I have kids. I'm gonna go with, it's hard because I like gummy worms and Starburst and lollipops. But I'm gonna go with gummy worms.
I'm going with chocolate bars because give me the fucking chocolate or give me nothing. Oh, look, John A, this one's for you. Because, no. I don't know why they keep putting this in there. What is your favorite school subject? Language arts. Math. Science. Social studies. Music. Or lunch.
See, I'm gonna be real with you. Social studies, the only reason I like that shit, because basically I just looked at it as like tea. Like you was finding out what fuckers was doing. Like, damn, that's kind of messed up. Oh, damn, that's kind of cool. Oh, whatever. But let's be real. It was lunch. It was always lunch.
My mom used to get mad at me because I would get C's and D's in government, in American history, and all that type of stuff. And then she was like, I don't understand how you get bad grades in the government. It's just you're learning about your country, and then you just regurgitate what they give you.
Like,
who cares?
It was all lies anyways.
Right, it's all lies.
Exactly. So I wasn't paying attention, but I got A's in African American history though.
That's all.
Anyways,
important.
I'm gonna go with math.
I knew it. Actually, surprisingly, I was gonna go with science, but really when I think about it, my favorite one was English. Language arts. I love reading the stories. That's where I got off on my Edgar Allan Poe. And then I forgot her name, but she did the poem about the Briar Rose. That's when I really got my Gothic vibe to me. This is where it's at. I love you, English. Lastly, choose the magical item that feels most powerful to you. A necklace, and it's a stacker necklace with little coins on them. I'm a map. Sorry, it's a map, but the song's not appropriate. Lantern, a book, and this book looks kind of dusty. That lantern, we got a book. We have a sword, like Sword in the Stone, but this shit looks like it's in the dirt, like they just stabbed it down and left it. And we have pretty stones of various pink hues.
I'm torn between the necklace and the stone. Like, if the necklace had stones in it, that just would have been. But because I'm me, I'm gonna pick the stones. And I could just see myself making jewelry out of it to just protect myself. So, stones.
I'm gonna pick the necklace because survivors, you wouldn't know this. People who see me in person will notice that like my go-to thing whenever I'm like nervous or like, I don't know, doubting myself is I grab my necklace and I'll fidget with it. Doesn't matter what the fuck I'm doing. Like I would just unconsciously grab it, and whenever I don't have it, I still reach for it. So it has to be a necklace for me because that's like my grounding item. Whenever I'm like any type of emotion that isn't like really happy, and even when I'm extremely happy, but I went to the polar, like you need to chill happy, the necklace is what I need.
I'm gonna go with the book.
Okay, y'all. What'd y'all get?
I got air. You can control air currents and wind, meaning that you can fly without a broomstick. You are caring and love to be helpful. But if anyone hurts someone you love, they better watch out. You have ash brown hair with silvery highlights, and you wear a light blue cloak like the sky on a summer day. You have a pet chickadee named Carolina, and you feel most powerful in the summer.
Okay, Avatar Aang.
Man,
It seemed like she ain't feeling that answer too much.
I'm really not feeling it, but I mean, I really do be ready to do a little thing or two when people be fucking other people. Because surely the other day I was about to do something on behalf of my mama, but I had to remember, can't be doing that to her.
Why do your mama keep getting into it with everybody?
It's not a, this isn't that type of situation.
Because you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, this ain't that situation. No, this ain't that type of situation.
Jesus, that small little lady just, that's a big dog.
Not this time. This is a little bit different. It has to do with people at the job.
I got thunder. You have the power to make it storm, and you can control lightning. You are confident and courageous, and you wear a storm cloud gray outfit with combat boots. You have silvery blonde hair like the lightning you channel, and you have a pet dragon named Vitra. And you feel most powerful in the summer and fall, and they could not be more right. I mean, I don't have a pet dragon, but my dog Alvin, y'all that know about Alvin, y'all know Alvin is a killer. Literally is a killer. Brittany can tell you. I don't know if I ever showed Johnny that video, but Brittany has seen the video. I'm sorry, but that's what happens when you mess with Alvin. Trained to go killer. Anyway, I just mentioned how summer and fall is my element. The only thing is that outfit, I don't know about them combat boots. We might have to see what they look like. They can't be no like basic looking ass combat boots. They gotta, but the silvery blonde hair, y'all know I love blonde hair. Like this is accurate. Like I mess with this answer.
I'm still confused as to how the hell I got silver highlights. Like what?
They like silver. That's just a thing because it's in mine too, I guess. Y'all, guess what I got?
I would guess you probably got like water or fire. It was water.
I got water, which really fits me. You can control water in any form to smooth my body. You can direct any body of water or make it rain or snow. You have the ability to breathe underwater. You are introverted and calm. I don't know about that. And think before you act. That is, funnily enough, before I do anything, I have thought it through. That's really the most dangerous part about me. I never do shit without thinking. If I fuck with you, either fuck with you like I'm friends with you or fuck with you like I'm picking at you, I've thought about it beforehand. It's all premeditated. You wear a simple white shirt and black pants with boots. You're correct. And you have dark hair with silvery blue highlights. Let's just remove the silvery, add blue, and we're good. You have a pet otter named Murphy. Let's replace that with Maslow. And you love to swim with whales. Dolphins. You feel most powerful in fall and winter. You're fucking right. That is when a bitch is at her best.
I can't believe I'm quoting this terrible person from BGC season 9, but dolphins and those prehensile wee-wees? No.
Huh?
Wait, what?
Y'all don't know about dolphins and they prehensile wee-wees that they grab people ankles with and drag them to the depths of the caves in the water?
Well, I just know about dolphins, drowning people and getting
With
high off of
their
pufferfish.
prehensile pee-pees.
Dolphins are that motherfucker. Okay, you don't fuck with dolphins. Even a shark knows to leave a dolphin the fuck alone when it's more than one, because them bitches are with the shit. And I love it. I love them. I love you, dolphins. I hope one day when I'm reborn into this world and I become a mermaid again, that I can swim with you.
Survivors, if you haven't been playing along with us, you can also play along. Just check below in the show notes where you'll find the link to this game and all the other extra goodies there. But if you guys are all ready, it is our time to call the corners. Let's get into 1996's The Craft.
To the other kids at St. Bernard Academy, they were the girls who didn't belong.
Whatever you do, stay away from them.
Why?
They're witches.
But after years of being on the outside,
Why'd you lie about me?
I don't want to go out with you again. Please, stop begging. It's pathetic.
4 girls are about to discover the dark side.
You ever heard of invoking the spirit? Black magic.
We can make things happen. I mean, this is it. This is real.
Columbia Pictures welcomes you to the witching hour.
Check it out. Her spell is working. Sit.
The Craft.
Girls, watch out for those weirdos.
We are the weirdos, mister.
The best part of the trailer was the Charm theme song.
Girl, don't do that. This was the Craft theme song before it was the Charm theme song, and Charm fucking ripped it off. Don't you ever. Yeah, I know this your first time around the park and you ain't seen this movie and you was not aware, but don't you ever do that, okay? No, absolutely not. And the director even said, the director was like, bitch, how the fuck you gonna rip off my shit? Because originally The Craft was supposed to have a spin-off TV show and they thought it didn't do, because this is considered a cult classic at this point. And they was like, well, the movie didn't even do that good, so why would we give you a TV show? And then some years later, here comes Charmed, the same thing. We was like, oh, wow. Look at that.
I love Charmed.
Me too, but it was.
And Holly Marie Combs was supposed to be Bonnie. Well, she was in a running for Bonnie.
Right. This trailer is long, but I didn't even realize it was long until I looked at the timestamp. I was like, oh, it's
not as long as well, mine was only 147.
Yeah, mine was 157, but it was really pretty to look at. And I think most of that was like, it wasn't all of it. This is a really pretty to look at trailer, though, honestly. Like looking at all the backgrounds and all the characters and the fact they didn't give away the fucking ending. I appreciate that.
You just know, like, it's just about some girls who are into some witchy shit. And chaos ensues. Shenanigans ensue.
But all right, y'all. So the film opens with a trio of teenage Wiccans chanting, with the camera panning over an empty fourth spot. And after we have a nice little brief trip through the clouds, we're introduced to Sarah and her family as they move into a really big house that has a few structural issues. But I mean, at least it's big. It was very sad, rainy, dark, besides the cloudy scene.
Apparently, a lot of that rain was natural rain because in 1996, it was just a rainy ass year. So even in other movies that were shot during this time, it was just hella rainy. And maybe not 96. I guess you would say 95 because whenever this was filmed, but it was just hella rainy that year. So, but also, when they pull up to the house, that's a big ass snake. Even like, yeah, I was like, why is California, is this what y'all deal with? I know y'all got snakes, but are they just this big roaming around that MFR like this? Like,
Hell, I mean, yeah, I guess so. Cause and the way he gave her the snake was fucked up. Cause I mean, while this bitch was unpacking, this nigga come in the house, literally the door, just walk in. I mean, it's their fault for having the door open, but let's just keep it pushing. And he's like,
the way their house is set up, he shouldn't have walked up like that. It's not like it's just like, oh, here's the front door among many front doors. It was like some trees and bushes and all types of stuff. He had to purposely go back there.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, he found this out. He just wanted to return it. He was asking her if she wanted it. He found this shit out back. You want it? But don't worry.
And I'm wondering, was that the same snake? That's what I want to know. Because I was talking about as they drive up, she looks out the window and she sees this huge snake just dangling down. I'm trying to figure out, was that the same snake and this man just came and brought it to her? Or like,
hell, he talked to the good guy. He knows.
I don't care who the fuck he talked to. You don't be walking in nobody's house talking about I found a fucking snake. That's how you get shot.
And then it's just like they were a little too chill for me. Like, I'm just saying, like, first of all, if an intruder walks in my house, I'm not okay. I understand some people fight, freeze. She froze. But even after the situation, when dad comes down the stairs, chases the guy out, my daddy, honey, that man would have got shot. And I hate to say that because of the climate of how guns are in America right now, but that's you on our property. So at that point, we got to defend ourselves. Like, I don't know what you finna do to my daughter, but they was just a little too chill for me. But also not the daddy pulling a Friday the 13th with the snake. I said, damn. I mean, I get it. It was still there. It was like crawling up your leg, but it wasn't like it was constricting you. We could have just tried to get it outside.
No.
I agree with you. They should just stick it out the house. She ain't kill snakes for that. It wasn't even poisonous, I don't think.
Die.
But fuck it. We're quickly pushed into Sarah's life at her new Catholic church. When we see the trio from earlier who ignore a bunch of jocks being assholes and heckling them by the lockers, and they'd end up discussing how today should be great because there's the almanac said there should be a new arrival. And they joke about the potential of having their fourth.
I just want to know, why does Nancy have a noose in her locker, sis? What is this? What's going on?
That's a good question. Why did she spray paint it black?
Is it spray
painted? A lot of arts. I mean, it's a black rope.
It is black, goth aesthetic, I guess. I don't know.
I just thought it came weird like that. I'm just like, I wouldn't know anything about that. Also, I'm just surprised they let Sarah in without a uniform, because usually schools like that, they be super strict. My public school was strict if we didn't have a daggone collar on our shirt for the first year that we wore uniforms after they tried to dismantle bullying, which definitely didn't work, because if you didn't have a certain style uniform or certain shoes, you were still getting talked about. So that didn't do anything for us. But I was really just surprised they even let her there. And dad, if my daddy was like, you all gotta go to school, I'm not going.
Yeah, I always wanted to skip school.
Me too. I only got to that one time that my sperm donor was in a wreck with me in the car. And I didn't have to go to school that day. I got to eat lunch at home, y'all. It was great. Lo and behold, during French class, after Sarah interjects some well-timed French, because them motherfuckers were talking about speaking Mexican, assholes, instead of Spanish. One of the trio notices that Sarah is levitating a pencil on the desk. And I full on mean levitating that bitch. Like, it's standing up.
Why are you doing this in the open though? Like, it's not like she has like a folder and she's like behind it and Bonnie just happens to see it happening. Like, we can all see you doing this. No. And I don't know what Breckenmeyer's character's name is in the movie, but Snail Trail, that's kind of insulting. That, like, when you think of Snail Trail, I was smacked the I would have wanted to slap you. It's multiple times where I want to slap his character in this movie, but this would have been no one because you're not about to call me no snail trail.
So old girl runs back to the trio during sciencey class, and she informs them that guess what? She is our fucking fourth. I told you, boom. But when Sarah tries to walk over, Nancy's like, I ain't with that shit. And that's kind of how it is. She just shoos her the fuck off. And I'm like, damn, you don't want a fourth? You don't want anybody? No, you're just gonna be mean to her. But it's okay. Because during lunch, Sarah's hit on by Chris. And that's when he tells her about the bitches of Eastwick. And he describes Bonnie, Nancy, and Rochelle. Because that's when we get there.
Well, actually, he doesn't say anything about Rochelle. So from Nancy, he's like, well, she's a slut. I don't know from experience, though. But yeah, that's her. And with Rochelle, he just says something about her burns or something like that. But he literally does not mention anything about Rochelle. So it makes me wonder, like, was that a part of stories being cut out or what? Because I don't know. I mean, something comes out later and it had my blood hot when I realized he was talking about Rochelle, but that happens later. But I don't know. I wonder why.
I was kind of glad he wasn't, because when he was talking about the other two, he was just sexualizing them and talking about them in relation to his friends having slept with them. So I was a little okay with that. I'm like, all right, that's cool. I'm glad you left her out of that shit. But he ends up telling Sarah to stay away from the trio because they're witches. So after that, we have the stupidest setup in all of eternity. All of it. Where he invites her to come watch his to watch him for football practice after school. Who the fuck would ever do this?
Me. And I did. I sure did. Make that face all you want to. I always had, I'm not going to hold you. There were multiple boys that I went to, and I'm making myself sound a certain way, but I was not, trust me. But I definitely sat, because on lunch hour, boys would be playing basketball in the gym. I even dated a guy that was a basketball player, not like, obviously this was high school, but yeah, I would definitely, that was like a little flex, low key, to go watch, whoever go play whatever sport they had. And we didn't have sports in my school, obviously it's performing arts, but on lunchtime, if it was hot outside, the boys was outside playing football, and you would see girls in certain little areas. Sometimes they'd be watching the boys, sometimes they just sitting out there. Or if we was playing basketball, the way our auditorium was set up, there was a whole like bowl around the top where you can hang out. You would see either girls up there or they would be down on the floor where they were playing basketball. And yeah, I had a few prospects that I was definitely watching. It was a flex, especially if they was like, can you hold my jacket? I'd be like, yeah. It was me.
I hate sports, so it would never be me.
I mean, I wasn't watching them the entire time. Most of the time, my friends was with me. It was just like, wasn't too many places we could go on lunch hour at our school. So, but most of us was watching somebody that was playing. So I'm not going to hold you. It was me. My thing is like, she going to act like she wasn't doing it though. When they like came up to her, she was like, excuse me, I know you watching, Chris, and I'm just going to tell you, like, from personal experience, he spreads disease, girl. Like, just, and then Bonnie's like, except for me, he doesn't talk to me. None of the boys do. I'm like, damn, Bonnie. All right.
So after school, the three girls end up befriending Sarah. Well, sort of, kind of. They caught her, like Ashley said, they kind of caught her ass peeping and, called out in the bullshit. And they're like, hey, you want to come for coffee? But they end up taking her to an outing to an occult shop. And during the little outing with the chit chat, they find out that, she's from San Francisco. And they end up seeing the scars on her. And like, what the fuck don't happen? And trigger warning, because we need to mention it. The reason she got the scars on her wrist was because of attempted suicide. They even note that she did it the right way. I'm not going into detail about that, but
right.
That's what they told her when they saw it. And it was even brought up by Rochelle. Like, how the fuck do you know she did it the right way? You're asking all the right questions. I mean, yeah. I know we know, but that ain't something you bring up in casual conversation.
My bad. I didn't like the fact that they said that. I don't really like, it was just strange to me. They could have kept that.
Well, off the record, not on the thing, it makes sense because people who are suicidal, but what's them called?
No, I get it, but
I think what John A is saying, like in the realm of the movie, this would elicit ideas and being like, oh, this is the way to do it. Like it's showing you like,
because we know it's the right way because your veins go up. So if you go this way, it don't make no sense.
They could have made it one of those things, right? They could have made it one of those things. If you know, you know,
right?
And if you don't,
unfortunately, around this time, this is just something I noticed, and it's one of my pet peeves. This is when they started to show the proper way. So this movie on Beyond was when they stopped going sideways. And I mean, it kind of fits, but I get why you don't like it that Bonnie says it, because in Bonnie, she would have had the way she was acting, the way she was hunched over, it leads you to under the implication that she had similar feelings, and that's how she knew the right way.
Yeah, I didn't even pick that up. That's a good point you bring up there. It seems like when you look at the grand scheme of all of the girls, they've all been through something. So it kind of leads me to wonder, have they had these thoughts? We really don't know that because it's not like the movie really goes into it, but it makes you wonder exactly like how has these girls' situations pushed them to different levels?
So that's the only reason I didn't like it, but I didn't have an issue with it, was because she said it. Now, if Nancy would have said it, probably not. I'd probably had a huge issue with it. But because it was her, I was like, I don't like it. It's sad. I don't like that you pointed this out in a film. But I can empathize with the fact that she is the one that said it.
Yeah, I see it both ways. I can see it both ways. Because as John A said, even with, and I know we didn't really talk about this, with this movie, they tried to do everything they could to not get an R rating. I feel like this would have been one of those things you probably would have taken out to not get that R rating, even though the only reason this did get the R rating was because of the quote unquote witchcraft that it deals with, which is like, what the hell? But anyway, I see both sides, because even with what we talked about with the advisor coming in to make sure things were right and just to fabricate some things to make sure teenagers weren't watching the movie and then going to invoke some spirits, it's the same thing. They should have handled that the same way. But also, to your point, Brittany, I understand what you say too.
Now, gently, very gently, walking away from this. When they reached the shop, they all used that 5-finger discount. They was in there pickpocketing the fuck out of it. But
I don't like that, because it's like you have this shop. That could have been y'all mentor or something like that. You get what I'm saying? This could have been somebody that been guiding y'all through all of this, because clearly, I don't know if her name is Leori, or I don't know how you pronounce her name actually, but I just feel like y'all doing yourself a disservice from robbing this lady, and she know y'all doing it and she just letting y'all do it. That's the thing. But
the shopkeeper, she's on game. She sees what the fuck's happening, but she don't say nothing. She just kind of lets them go. But Sarah and her end up talking because she's got candles, and she's like, oh, you know how to use candles? Not really. Okay, let's take this one out. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just not worry about it. So she ends up giving her a nice little how-to guide, the craft pamphlet. And even tells her, like, maybe you're a natural witch. Your powers come from within, because she was saying, I haven't used any of these before. She's spitting some game and shit. So when they're all leaving the shop and they're all walking and having a good time, and Sarah's trying to bail to get the fuck out, she's harassed by a vagrant. The same nigga with the snake is him again. But now he's in touch with the man. He has a whole nother snake. And while she's trying to cross the street, flee from him, whatever the fuck you want to say, all the 4 girls just kind of look at him like they're wishing some shit would happen, and his ass get hit by a car.
That is just, they show it like under the car view. I definitely expected his head to full on just pop, because the way he got fucking hit at the velocity of the car.
I had a dream about you, fucking weirdo.
And then the priest, come back to Jesus. Come back. I'm like, wait, who said she wasn't? Okay.
Yeah, no. But fuck it. The girls escape, and Nancy is thrilled that they're connected. Like, she's having a good time, y'all. And they end up leaving. Well, Sarah ends up leaving to go meet with Chris, and he's trying to, max some game, trying to have intercourse, but she's like, no, I don't want to. I'm leaving. Bye. Unfortunately.
Hold on, let's rewind real quick, because I want to talk about this part you breezed past. So after this little incident happens with the guy getting smacked in the car and they run away into the woods into this little meeting spot, listening to all of them like realize that it was them that called this, and you can start hearing Nancy's intensity in this moment. And I think that's what truly like runs Sarah off, because Sarah already is aware that she's special. Like there is something in her. She can't quite understand it. Even like we mentioned earlier, Leori or whatever her name is, tells her like, yeah, you're a natural witch. Like this is what it is. But I almost wonder, well, I don't wonder. I know for a fact, this is when the girls are for certain that they can like leech off of Sarah, you know? But obviously she's not open enough to see that just yet.
It's the first moment where Nancy gets that. I don't know if this is proper, but I'm going to say it and we'll decide later. When Nancy gets her first hit, like she gets that first little bump of power and she's kind of addicted. That's when you see the manic glee come out. That's when you see, and especially when they're talking about invoking the spirits and mana and all that other shit, that's when you like start to see that little gradual shift, the one that you don't notice at first. When you know, when shit happens, like it's that little spark that really catches into a wildfire and then you have to shut down all of California.
Because even to that point earlier, when Sarah had confided in them about her cutting, you notice when they walk off into the store, Nancy takes her right under her arm and now they all buddy. At first, Nancy wasn't even trying to mess with Sarah, but that's like, it's like she's slowly realizing like, yeah, we need this girl. So I'm about to definitely put my claws into her.
Yeah, you really see it. But the way her personality, it just kind of develops in a beautifully sad way of seeing it, because you see someone with an addiction and you see how when they want more and more of it, how they react, how they try to protect it, and then how they buck against it.
Because even when Sarah was like telling them, she's like, okay, like sometimes when I want it to rain, things will get all flooded. I don't know why she said it like that, but that cracks me up every time she delivers that line, or talking about how she just can't control her powers. Like I said earlier, she knows it's something about her, but I think that along with Nancy's intensity and all these other coinky things that just happened, it's just way too much. It's too much for her.
And that's when we see Sarah exit stage left and she goes to meet up with Chris. But during this whole little scene that gives me Moulin Rouge vibes because of the damn rooftop with the sign. Honestly.
Yes, no, same. I feel you.
He tries to throw down some game, but she's like, no, I'm not with that. I'm leaving. Peace out. Bye.
This is where that shit happens, that he starts talking about Rachel. I don't know if you caught it, but he's like, yeah, I saw you hanging out with the girls in Mammoth Head. Mammoth Head? Excuse me?
That. What the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to that either.
That's just, and I know, obviously, I know it's the writing, it's the script, but it's just like, I know Sarah don't know these girls just like that yet to be defending her, but still, I would have been like, damn, can you not do that? That's racist.
It truly is. I fuck that. Fuck him. And then we find out, according to fuck him, the next day at school, he's a fuck nigga. Because what does he do? He tells the whole school, per Nancy and the bitches in the back gossiping, that
it don't help that
lady.
She was there too. Laura, it doesn't help that Laura was there with whoever the other friend was. So just as easily as this rumor went around, she could be adding on to it as well.
She's not gonna do that. She's not. She's a bitch. True one. But yeah, she's the worst lady he's ever had. And for him, that's pretty bad. Because that's the same thing he said about Nancy. And
I wonder, was Nancy trying to shade him though? Like saying like he can't even fuck either. So for him to say somebody is a lousy lay is like, I feel like she was trying to shade him low key. I don't know, but that's just how I felt. But why do y'all lie about this? I don't understand why you lie about screwing people. Like, what do you gain from this?
Somebody lied about screwing me in high school.
But yeah, but why?
Because in a male perspective point of view, having sex with lots of people was like a thing. Like you get your props. You a big dog if you had sex with this girl, you had sex with that girl. If you in a relationship and you ain't had sex with her, what the fuck is wrong with you? And so the dude, my boyfriend at the time, I think I was like a sophomore in high school, he lied and said that he had like fucked me. So when I ended up getting with this next dude, he was like, "Oh, Jeremy has said that y'all had sex." I was like, "No,
Not your
I'm a
name
virgin."
dropping.
Oh shit. He never gonna listen to this, but he was like, "Yeah," he said that y'all had sex, and I'm like, "No, we ain't never have sex." Like, what?
It
Like,
gave me Maddie Perez. Why does everyone think we fucked? That's what it gave me. Okay.
and it's because he went around saying it. He went around saying that shit. So
I also don't like the confrontation. Let's just get into it. So when she goes to confront, I'm getting mad because it's kind of low-key kind of happened to me. When she goes to Chris and confront him, his minions are there. I hate saying that, but I've been on a BGC kick, BGC 6 with Shar and the minions. But
they're minions. Don't worry. They're fucking minions.
Yeah, in this movie, they are definitely minions. If I'm talking to you, don't ever have your friend come talk to me. Now, this happened to me in 7th grade. I was dating in middle school. I really don't count it as dating, but I was dating this guy in middle school, and for our school, he was one of the more popular guys that all the girls wanted. He had pretty green eyes. He had braids, like hair, all of that, blah, 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 blah. I was even kind of, I didn't even know he knew I existed for real, because I wasn't paying attention to him. But anyway, we was dating. We ended up breaking up because I was a goody two shoes. He was trying to get in my pants and I wasn't going for it. So he broke up with me, which is fine. But the thing about it is he had some other kid come up to me to tell me this. And you know what I did? It wasn't even that revengeful, but I put him on blast and put this note on his locker. I'm not going to say what was in the note, but the thing is I hung it up before going to class. So by the time the next class let out, a whole bunch of people had seen the note and it was spread around school and all of this. And I felt really good about myself because you're not about to play me like this. And look at me now.
I would have knocked them in their fucking face. Like I punched them. All of them. Fuck all of them. But we get the rundown on the girls, like all of their lives and what problems they have. So for Bonnie, what is it? For Bonnie, we see the invasive and very fucking painful surgery that she goes through to try to remove her burn scars. That shit, I would have screamed too. I didn't try to remove
yes, it's a needle. Y'all already know I get jumpy with needles already. But that first time that the first time the needle penetrates her skin, that was deep. Cause no.
Oh, yeah. They got all them layers. After we get a quick Sarah dream sequence, we get to see the shit that Nancy goes through.
Can
with
we
her
talk
mom.
about Sarah's little dream sequence real quick? Because it was the wrong arm. Y'all didn't pay attention to that. And it was unnecessary. I don't understand why we needed to see that after we've already been told about it. I feel like that was unnecessary.
It was very unnecessary. We could have dealt without the dream sequence, but I guess if we're knowing all of her problems, all the girls' problems, we have to know hers too. So that's how we get her dream sequence. I just don't know, Sarah. I'm sorry. And speaking of effects, Bonnie and them damn scars, they didn't age well. Freddie's face looks better than hers, her back. And they're all burns, even though it was modeled after a real burn victim. And then we get to see what Nancy goes through with her mom and that bum ass nigga Ray, who can't pay the lights or a bill. But I mean, she know what he good for, according to her. I just don't see it. But whatever floats your boat, sis, now.
But I'm like, he's sitting there openly making passes at your daughter and you just letting him do it. Like, I hate that. Like, he's doing it in front of you. He's not even being, and I'm not saying you should because it's disgusting all around, but he's not even being like discreet about it. He all out in the open trying to pull this girl robe open. Like, disgust.
He was fucking trash. So this next fucking scene irks my motherfucking nerve survivors. as I have said before, so that way I don't say it again. So now we see what Rochelle has to go through because she's trying to be the very best diver. And guess what? She got a fucking bully racist.
And the coaches are sitting right there and don't say anything. Like, you could have injured this girl for real. And they don't say anything.
They don't look twice. They don't say shit. This bitch is literally trying to dive where you need to concentrate because, mind you, if you are shocked, there's people who don't swim or like water. If you are shocked, you can drown.
Right.
Like the shock of hitting the water, your body will not know how to react and you will sink to the fucking bottom until you drown. If no one saves you. And clearly nobody's saving her because they're not paying her any attention. But don't worry, to add a little razzle dazzle to the racism, that's not the only time we get. We also get in the locker room. I hate this woman so much, so fucking much. I don't see why they gave her sympathy.
All I see is Marsha Brady.
Yeah, same. And I'm just like, as much as I want to be like, oh, Marsha, I'm like, no, bitch. No, Laura, because no, not that, no, honey. Because Rochelle, I understand you are the only Black girl at this school, and you probably don't want to come off as the angry Black girl, or you're already having a tough time fitting in because of this. I would have had to teach her that day. She would have had to learn that day. The way I would have ragdoll and dog walked the fuck out of Laura after the nappy hair and the knee.
The pubic hair comment would have got that bitch dragged in the locker room. We wouldn't have got to part 2.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't have got to part 2 at all. Because no, honey, I'm sorry. It wouldn't have happened.
Because let me tell you, when people be like, when they go low, you go high. Survivors, in case y'all don't know yet,
I would have went to hell.
If somebody goes low with me, I'm going to the VIP section in hell. Okay, we're not passing shit. I don't need to go down. I'm already there. So let's get ready to rumble. Cause I'm gonna whoop that ass. Simple as fuck. And I'm not gonna get in trouble by anybody, not by my sperm donor or by my mama. They wouldn't have said shit to little Brittany. They'd have been like, "Oh, did you win? Yes, good job, thank you." And I did go to private school for many fucking years. They'd have just sent my ass to another one. No big deal. What the fuck ever. But fuck it, because fuck Marsha Brady. I liked you in the fucking show, but not now. Don't like you, Marsha. During class, the trio invites Sarah on a field trip. And y'all, this is when we get the fucking infamous scene when they're on the bus and they get the fuck out in the country. And they're like, you girls watch out for those weirdos. We are the weirdos, mister.
First of all, he is the weirdo because he was definitely looking at Nancy's butt as she was getting off of the bus.
Weird.
Definitely. But also, it was the way that Sarah is like playing with the little kids on the bus. But Nancy is just like death staring them down. I'm like, damn, Nancy, they kids. They ain't even do nothing. Just chill out, girl.
Fuck them kids.
This is why. And you, the angel, you really think?
No. Oh my God. I have a friend who is like Nancy and will death stare a child if the child is looking at them. Like, she be ready to curse a child out if the child is staring at them. I'm like, it's just a baby.
Right.
She's like, so why the fuck they looking at me? And I'm like,
they probably like you.
It's a child. The baby can't even talk. They're just looking because that's all they can do is look. Like, why are you?
Probably can't even see you depending on how old they are. Probably
that's what I'm saying. She'd be ready to fight infants because they be staring at her. And I just be like, you need help.
Sheesh.
Or the babies could just stop staring. You can control your children.
A baby?
What you want from me? I said what I said.
This is why I said you're the demon. You better not ever. We got this recorded. Yes, we got this recorded. I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. No.
Well, we know who's not babysitting my kids.
Okay.
I have picks and chooses on children I like. You know whether I like your child or not, because if I refer to your child by their name or I call them child. I'm not shitting you. So if I actually say your kid's name, I don't give a fuck how you're related to me. If I say your name, of the child. And I'd be like, oh, hey, come here, such and such baby name. I like the baby. But if I say child, leave me alone, I do not like said baby. But it's okay because I won't volunteer to watch the baby any goddamn ways.
I take the Chucky method, just like Charles Lee Ray said in the series. If you haven't seen it, that's your fault. Just like Charles Lee Ray said, anybody under the age of 5, we don't mess with. 6 and above, you know what you're doing at that point. But under 5, let them fly.
Because some children, I just don't. Some about them, it's like a no. Just a no for me. So while on the countryside, they call the corners and create their circle with perfect love and perfect trust. Mwah. And spend their afternoon casting some spells. Listen, just before I go, Nancy ain't had to, press up on that girl like that. I was like, damn. She was like, good girl. You wanted to stab her? You wanted to stab her ass up in the countryside, Nancy? I get it.
Think that's just her personality. Because I was specifically paying attention to everybody just to see if like anybody's was different or blah, 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 blah. And it just seemed like that's Nancy's personality, because I feel like she would have did that to any of the other ones if she swore them in.
I mean, I could see it, but literally just the imagery of stabbing somebody up on the countryside because they didn't want to come into a circle with perfect love and perfect trust. Mwah. So guess what? While they're all there spending the afternoon casting some spells, they end up casting their own. So Rochelle asks for the strength not to hate those who hate her. Sarah wants love and shit, but really it's just a love spell for Chris. Okay, fuck him.
I'm like, girl, you gonna say out loud specifically, Chris. Like Now look, I know when I was younger, I was a little boy crazy and I did some crazy things, but I kept it to myself. Okay, I was no, girl. And you can see all the friends was just like, girl, really? Girl.
Not you down that bad. No,
Okay.
Ma'am.
He's not even
treats you
cute
like
in this
shit.
movie. Like,
Actually, correction, he's not even cute, but we'll keep it pushing. I don't care. He's not. I have stood on this ground that he ain't.
Brittany, I don't even pay attention to you in this department. You like what you like, and that's fine. And that's cool. But in this movie, I was not feeling his look at all. So I'm like, girl, I don't even know why you even acting like. Now, if this is Billy Loomis, then, I would have been like, I kind of understand. I get it. But, girl, no.
So Bonnie, because she actually has a wholesome ass, because when she drinks with her sisters, she asks for beauty inside and out. And then Nancy, you know what, fuck it. She just asks for all the powers of Venom and drinks every last drop. She gets every little drop. She's like, she's getting all of it, okay?
Nancy got issues.
Because I was just concerned. Like, everybody else was like, that's it. I'm like, what you mean that's it? You hear what she just said? Y'all not concerned about this? Okay. Y'all just complacent in all of this.
Like she said, they ain't got no minds of their own. But anyways, shortly after the spells are cast, they show signs of working. And I ain't just talking about the butterflies that come and join the crew. So Chris asks, he's infatuated like a motherfucker with Sarah. Okay, like a lost ass puppy dog. He is following this bitch around. He don't even went to mass with them. She don't gave him her stuff, Bonnie's stuff, because Bonnie got a bad back. And I walked him like a dog. And he don't ignore his friends. She even pay attention.
Okay, now I want to point something out here. Now, Johnny, I know you ain't seen the whatever we want to call it, reimagining, whoever. But the movies kind of follow similar beats with certain characters in this aspect. Now, I want to point out the reason why it works here and does not work in the other movie is because although Chris is under this spell, you can tell that he is confused and he does not understand why this is happening to him. He just knows that all of a sudden, I need Sarah and this is just here. In the other movie, it does not come across like that at all. And that's what makes it not work. You get what I'm saying, Brittany?
I do. Because normally it's just the fact that they just go with it. But you see in every fucking moment, even when he's on, this is later on, when he's sitting on her wall, he doesn't get why he's behaving like this. You see like the tornness of him. He's like, I don't want to do this. Like when his friends were looking at him and taunting him,
Right.
he was looking like, I want to go with y'all, but she's paying
But I
attention and
can't.
he did.
Yeah. It was like I can't, like he's literally, it seems like he just, it's almost like The Sims when you like take their free will, when you take their free will away and they have to just wait on you to tell them what to do. Like
Do it
it's
all the
literally
time.
like that.
All the fucking time. Oh, I love
And
The
it's
Sims.
literally like that in real life too. So this is a cautionary tale, people. Don't do love spells on people that don't share the same affections for you, because 9 times out of 10, it'll turn violent. Because why? They can't figure out why the hell they feel this way when they ain't like your ass 2 weeks ago.
I just, they was told. And I just feel like this is why I said what I said about them stealing from the occult shop. Besides Sarah, because she didn't want to and she didn't. It would pay for y'all to have a mentor or just some more insight. Like I understand y'all teenagers, and as teens, we all felt like we knew what we was doing or whatever. But you don't. You're very stupid. We were all stupid. And this is what happens when you play stupid games. You win stupid prizes. I'll tell y'all dang near every show. Y'all would have known this had y'all did y'all fucking research. Just, but it's okay. F around and find out, and that's what's about to happen.
That same night, the group has a slumber party and end up playing light as a feather, stiff as a board, and they end up fucking dropping Rochelle. I see y'all. I see what the fuck you did.
Rochelle
I know
dropped
they did on
herself.
purpose.
Let's be honest. She dropped herself. And she broke her concentration. But really, it was Bonnie's mama's fault. But Rochelle did that. We can't, I get it. I know we on the Rochelle train, but that was all her fault. Sarah told her to concentrate.
Fine, whatever. And then we have a sweet little montage of the girls bonding and being typical Wiccans, teenage Wiccans to be exact. They're all together. They're all cool. They're all having movie night. They're walking in the sun and in the cafeteria.
We love a slow-mo scene. I was living. I'm like, every movie that, okay, not all of them, but the girl-centric ones, the slow-mo scenes I be living for. Everybody's all happy and confident. Like, it's lit.
And it was. And you know what happens? The bonding moment kind of just ends up wrapping up when Sarah ends up yanking the fucking hair out of the root of the bully. She like yanks that shit out.
For that scene because she did it so smooth when she walked past. She was like, oh, I thought I saw a bug in it. They make shampoo for that. You little bitch. Like, girl, shut up.
Really? She literally didn't break a fucking, that's the fucked up part. She didn't break stride when she yanked that bitch out. She was going,
did it so smooth. I was living for it. Like, I just loved it. So I didn't realize until this watch, when I was obviously being eagle-eyed for the podcast, I always saw Sarah pull Laura's hair, but I just thought she was like just, trying to punk her or something like that because Laura's a bitch. But I didn't realize because in the next scene, I just thought this was another bonding moment and she was just letting her play in her hair, which, as Black girls, we don't let people just play in her hair. But I didn't realize she was taking Laura's hair to braid into Rochelle's hair for a spell.
What they should have did was let the birds get it and make a nest.
I mean, that was the equivalent of it.
She didn't go crazy. Her hair just fell out.
That's what the one I heard was that your hair falls out.
You go crazy. If you leave your hair out and birds build a nest with your hair, you'll go crazy.
I like that one better than your hair falling out.
They're pecking at your hair. Go ahead.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Also, people, make sure that you dispose of your hair properly. Don't leave your hair laying around.
I was always told to flush it.
That too. Fucks up the pipes. However, don't leave your hair laying around, people. That is ammo.
Yeah.
Bring it on. I'm ready. But you know what? They all had group bonding experiences, honestly. I mean, no, it wasn't a bond between the bully and fucking Rochelle, but it was a bond between Sarah and Rochelle and Nancy and Bonnie because they're all like clustered off. I mean, the way groups happen when you cluster off with somebody and they're just doing their collective spells. Like Rachel's winding that fucking hair around. Like, hey, look, ain't shit gonna happen to her if she leave you alone. Fucking doubt it. She didn't. Spoiler alert. And then poor Bonnie's over there talking about men, I'll remove my scars, and I felt so bad for her. Honestly, as someone who has scars, mine don't look like hers. You can't see anymore because of age, but hers were still pretty bad, and not just effects wise. But you know what? Fuck it. Like clockwork, Laura bullies Rochelle at swim practice. But surprise, surprise, that bitch hair starts falling out. And then
I was
guess what?
also surprised that one of the coaches actually said something this time. I was like, oh, now you want to say something?
Oh, because she's white. That's all. They couldn't ignore it. Because they had to be there to set up for the fact that her hair was falling out. So that's why, honestly, they said something. Because if not, why the fuck was that into this bitch hair coming out? But fuck it. And at Bonnie's next appointment, her scars peel off. And we're like, oh my God.
I did not like the way these scars came off. Because I'm like, clearly, if you get burned, that's like deep into the tissues. Which I'm not saying that this wouldn't work, but this came off just as if it was like glue. Like, you remember when we were young, we used to put glue on our hands and then peel it off. This is how that came off. Like, it literally just peeled off. So I don't know. I just kind of had a slight little problem with how this.
In my head, I was thinking that it was peeling kind of like how they do chemical peels.
Yeah.
Because you're more so, I think that laser was trying to get the scars or whatever, like that layer of skin. So the peeling made sense to me, but also it was supposed to be kind of magical.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah. And that's why I excuse it. But I think maybe if like there was still some type of slight faint scarring, like her back was just clear as ever. Like just completely clear. Maybe if it was like just a little bit that you could tell like something was there, but it ain't that serious. Oh no. But yeah, of course, magic. So we just got to excuse it at that point.
Magic. And you know what? The next shot that makeup was working is magic, because this is the spot. This is the spot I was talking about. This is the only time that Neve Campbell looks decent.
I'm sorry, my pedicure ran late. At 8 a.m? Girl, what?
Everything about that scene looked great. From the time that she walked into class to the time her ass hit the sunlight. I was like, oh, okay. Is this what everybody's talking about? But then the next time I saw her, it was gone. I was like, no, it couldn't have been that fleeting.
Girl, I wouldn't even give them boys a time of day. Like, I don't care if they thought I was cute. Y'all just dicks all around anyway. So don't even look my way. Don't talk to me. But also with casting Neve Campbell as Bonnie, and this is a Hollywood thing that gets done a lot, like the ugly girl, all you got to do is like, if you just dress nicer, do your hair. Like, I still feel like even when she was low confidence, burnt up Bonnie, she was still pretty in the face. So it wasn't like, I guess like maybe they should have gave her burns on her face. That would have like done something. And I would have been like, okay, I can see why people be calling her Freddie and shit. But she's still pretty. So I don't get it, but it's Hollywood. So we just got to roll with it.
She wouldn't. You know what? I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go this time. I'm going to let it go. So fuck it. So all while they outside basking in the sunlight, just feeling glad and also giving Sarah her props, Nancy stormed the fuck off. Because as Rochelle quotes, because she don't want to be white trash anymore or something like that.
Well, it's because her spell's not working. Like everybody else is getting what they want. And it just seems like she the only one that's like, did Manon not answer her? Was I not there
because
that day?
She ain't asked for shit that was tangible.
Yeah, like that you was gonna actually see.
You can't be like, oh, I want all the power, but it's like you're not even doing anything to like show that you got the power. So it's like, how you gonna know what you got unless you test it out? Exactly. But also, she ain't asked for nothing tangible. Like,
I just love Rochelle's line, "You're white, honey. Just deal with it." Because girl, if that ain't, that's the title of the show. If that ain't the realest shit spoke, just girl,
just deal with it. But don't worry, y'all, because we have an event of calamity finally, and Nancy gets what the fuck she wants. Because while chaos ensues at her household because Ray's being a dick, and it starts off joking, her mama hits him, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And we almost have a DV situation. Nancy causes all the shit that's electrical to explode, and then gives his ass a heart attack, and then kills his ass when she stares him the fuck down in the ambulance. But don't feel fucking bad, because Ray was a dick any goddamn ways. Because Nancy, her mama, is sitting at the house with a trailer, and the insurance man rolls up and is like, "Oh, guess what, y'all? Y'all get an inheritance." And they like, "This nigga got money. He had money for us." And yes, he did. And now they're rich.
Well, he ain't had money for them, really.
Right. I was trying to figure out how was they entitled to that money anyway. He ain't had no family members. He ain't okay.
Were they
Go
married?
straight to them. No, I don't think so. I don't know.
They had to have been married because
For that
the
to
quote
work.
about the quote about not being her real dad or something like that would imply that he's her stepdad.
Well, no, that's how they were entitled to the money.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's not even a lot.
So
then, yes, but
I looked up the conversion from 95 to 2022, and $175,000 in 1995 equals $335,641.73 today.
That ain't shit.
It's a lot for someone who got nothing.
Right.
Inflation would have took that in at least 2 years, honestly. The way they was spending.
But y'all couldn't hold y'all excitement until the insurance got left.
Fuck that nigga Ray.
I mean, yes. But also, it's just like, goddamn, we're in the money.
This ain't the first time he's seen that. But you know what? They take that money and they move into a nice high-rise apartment where the girls come to have another, well, I'll keep calling them sleepovers, but they end up leaving late at nights. But we're going to just say almost sleepover.
This whole scene just gives me new money mentality. Just like we talked about in Jawbreaker. Like when people get that new money, they don't really know what to do with it. Because I know we just talked about the money or whatever, but everything in this apartment, I'm like, how y'all going to keep this up? Like, did the mom end up getting a better job? Like, you still got to pay monthly, or I don't know if they own this. I don't know what the situation is, but I'm just like, I feel like this could have been better managed. But also, Nancy's mom was definitely giving Regina's cool mom vibes. And it just kept cracking me up. She was just so happy and excited. And Nancy was being a downer, living up to her last name. And her room was cute, though.
It really was. I appreciated it. It's all worth it in the end because they have a nice little slumber party that ain't really a slumber party. And they learn disguise changing magic. So they learn how to glamour and change like their hair color and their eye color or whatever the fuck they want to change.
So this is where you like, okay, I'm going to be very honest with you. Even though I love me a good wig, I didn't realize Sis had a wig on until this glamour spell. Because when she changes it, it just seems like, I just feel like they could have changed it into a blonde wig. And it could have been different style. If it's glamour, it would have been fine if it was a different style type of wig. But you just changing the color digitally. I was not a fan. I was not a fan of that. But then also in some scenes, the regular wig, I just think the complexion of Robin Tunney's skin and the color of the wig, sometimes it just didn't complement her well. It's like I can see it now, but then it didn't faze me too much. But also I want to point out when Bonnie is like, make me a blonde, make me a blonde. Once again, I feel like we could have expanded on this because it's like, is she trying to fit in with the school by being a blonde girl versus owning what she has? Even though we all looking at her girls and we like, dang, bitch, goals, I want that. But you know what I'm saying? I feel like that could have, if you had fleshed out her character more, that would have been something that was very telling because she's trying, or maybe if she was trying to straighten her hair and things like that. I just feel like we could have did so much more with that aspect with Rochelle's character.
They gave her no time. I'm surprised they even had Sarah go to her house later. But you know what? Summer party's over. Sarah's at home, chilling in the bed, sleep, relaxing. But Chris outside at 3:00 in the morning. He chilling on the wall. confessing his love to her.
Talking about some let's move in together. Move in? Boy, if you don't get out my backyard.
I don't understand at all. Dad had to come break that shit up, okay? Because he was out there for a while having a full ass conversation like it wasn't 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
But you know what? The next day, I don't know how Sarah got up to do it because it seemed like she should have been tired from that 3 a.m. conversation. They go back to Lero's shop where Nancy finds a nice little book about invoking the spirit. And this is where the slight mentorship role comes out from the shopkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, hey, you know what? You're using advanced magic. Maybe you should, chill. But you know what? Old girl got it. Nancy knows what she's doing. And she got money this time.
But she even tells them because Sarah wants to undo the love spell because she's noticing it's getting out of hand. And Leori, whatever her name is, tells them, she's like, yeah, no, baby, you can't undo it. You just kind of got to let it do its thing. But just know whatever you send out, it come back threefold. So have fun with that.
And they even mention into it that the fact that it's not just like written in a book anywhere. It's basically off of the principle, do unto others as you want done unto yourself. She even says it, but it's kind of in the background.
That y'all should have just, instead of being 5-finger discount hoochies, y'all should have been trying to get a mentor because y'all clearly missed a step. Because why don't y'all know this? Like Sarah not knowing this, I'll buy that because she don't understand what the fuck is going on anyway. But the rest of y'all, one of y'all should have known this.
They really should have.
That's what happened when you ain't real.
But fuck it. Later that night, the girls go on to the beach and form a circle. And you know what? They start calling them in on. And it seems like things are going great. So Nancy gets struck by lightning. And we're like, what the fuck is happening? But don't worry, because guess what? The girls see Nancy walking on the water. Like Jesus.
And don't make a big deal about it. I feel like we could have y'all act like y'all see her do this every day. But also when in the new version, I know I keep saying this, but in the version y'all watch, was Nancy red?
No.
It's because it's like the new remastered versions, like obviously with the technology and stuff. She's like, it's not supposed to look like this. If you watch like a regular version, especially from 96, it's not going to look like that. But when you watch a newer version, I don't know what they did to it, but that girl looked red like the devil from Cow and Chicken. Like it just.
Oh, wait, when they flew in the window like the Sanderson sisters?
No. When she's walking on water, like yeah.
Oh, because when they flew in the room like the Sanderson sisters, they was all different colors.
Yeah, they was all green, and so I was like, no, wait a minute. Which I don't know if like that was meant to be like that because it was a nightmare. So I passed that one. But the one on water, I was just like, ooh, she's kind of red.
But don't worry, because also while she's having her color changing, walking on water moment, she's also been given some gifts. Dead sea creatures that they're not all that worried about. I'm really and truly, the environment is fucked. It probably smells terrible.
I just wonder what all the other people was thinking when they was hearing her screaming, these are gifts. He's everywhere. He's everything. I know that's probably like, girl, what the fuck is wrong with you? What's happening? You okay? We need to call somebody for her.
No, they didn't. And guess what? We now have time for the car ride from hell. I just want you to know if anybody drive like this, I'm getting the fuck out at the next red light.
I feel like you would drive like this. I really do.
So while Nancy's telling the group, there's some problems. One, Bonnie, your personality changing. You used to be nice. What the fuck you is now, Bonnie? This ain't it. This is not what I want. This is not who you are. She kind of, pokes at the bear a little bit and enrages Nancy because she feels a bit threatened.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nancy almost kills all of them repeatedly by running through them lights and turning them green with her magic. I'm like, well, technically she was glamoring them, but still, it was like, what the fuck?
And it's like, girl, you doing that, but what about the other cars on the road? Because are you changing both lights or just yours? Which I mean, I guess we got our answer. She's just changing theirs because they almost get into the car accident right after Sarah says the light's not going to always be green, which is obviously a metaphor. But also, Nancy, why you got to be that friend? I hate people who always try to dangle shit in your face. Like, she's like, so I'll put you out of this coven. Like, I'll take you out the circle. Why I gotta be all that? I'm just trying to save you. I'm trying to help you out. And you want to threaten the coven and dangle this in my face. Like, first of all, I'm a natural witch. Y'all the ones that needed me, honey. But Sarah, she ain't got that big and bad yet. So she don't know how to say that yet. But girl, you gotta move around.
It's just some shit all the way around. But it's okay because after this moment and the light's not always gonna be green, people start feeling remorseful, like Rochelle, who sees a balding Sarah in the locker room, hysterically crying.
Why would you come to school? Why would you come to school? And see, I feel like, I don't know how this was supposed to be cut. I feel like this scene would have made a lot more sense coming afterwards. And maybe Rochelle would have been like, okay, we see her reflection not looking back at her, but we don't understand it. But maybe if like after all this happens and then we see the rest of their things going to Ish, then we be like, oh, that scene from earlier makes more sense now. I don't know. Cause I'm just like, girl, your hair been falling out for a second. Why would you come to school? I don't get it.
She had to. Her parents make her.
What I do to deserve this? Been racist, bitch. Okay. I don't fucking get it. But unfortunately, y'all, we also get who else's shit is backfiring. I don't know why Rochelle's backfired, but I guess it did. We're gonna call it that. Sarah and that love spell. Goddamn. So for reasons unbeknownst to me, she finally accepts to have a dinner date with Chris. I don't know why she would do that because she knows that these are purely manufactured feelings.
Mm-hmm.
I would have let it try to like, I would have just never returned his advances at all until he got tired of it and found somebody else or like kind of wore off. But she gave into it.
It's a deleted scene. I don't know exactly where it's supposed to go, but I'm kind of mad that they don't put it in here. It's basically the scene is of Sarah meeting with Bonnie and Rochelle, just like ducked off in some school area. And she has the craft book that Leori or whoever gave her. And she's like, I think that Nancy is like going out of control. And it's kind of part of the scene is spliced in. And I think this happens right before she goes off to meet with Chris, where Nancy finds them and she's like, well, Bonnie, before I came to you, nobody even gave you the time of day. Niggas ain't even look at you. Rochelle, you was the only Black girl in school and nobody literally talked to you but me. But before all of that happens, you kind of see Sarah getting through to Bonnie and Rochelle. Like, yeah, maybe Nancy is tripping, but Nancy comes around and is like, I leave y'all with her for 2 hours and she putting all this in y'all head and y'all just running with it. So I say that to say when Sarah meets up with Chris and she says, I disagree with them once and they turn their back on me. It's confusing because you're like, well, when did that happen? But I feel like had they left that scene in, it would have made a lot more sense, you know?
It really would have, and that would have made sense and actually fit the narrative.
Right.
So he ends up taking her to a nice little hilltop where he attempts to sexually assault her.
Yeah, when I was little, I don't know. I thought he was just trying to like stop her from running away. I didn't realize. Now that I'm older and I know what's going on, I don't like that scene, especially because you can hear like his belt, whoever the sound Foley was. It's a lot. Like
Again, cautionary tale. Normally it gets progressively worse. In this case, the unrealistic case, he tries to SA her to get what he wants. In the real world, they be ready to knock your ass out and sometimes kill you. So don't do love spells, people. Don't do love spells.
If they don't like you, they don't like you. Just let it go.
Don't make the spaghetti. Don't make the tea. Just
not the spaghetti. Jesus.
Just leave it all alone.
Yep. Don't even worry about it. Don't even try it.
Don't burn no candles. Don't do no talismans. None of that. Just
don't snatch no hair. Just let it go.
Just leave it alone. Don't collect any specimens.
So we have a nice little Texas Chainsaw Massacre moment where she runs through all the trees and she ends up at Rochelle's door. But don't worry, it's not a lady with tea. It's the circle. And she's telling them all what happened, and Nancy is clearly enraged. And she decides it's time to go play. Even though Nancy was like, hey, let's just leave it alone. Nancy is not having that. Not at all. And so Nancy arrives at the party, the best dressed motherfucker there, according to me. Okay, I don't know what the fuck was happening, but it worked, like the long dress and shit. I mean, I would have took that in a few places, but I'd had the necklace and everything. I think that looked great on me. Would have looked amazing. And Chris sees her and he knows that, you know, she's friends with Sarah, so he goes with her. She tries to seduce him, but he wasn't with it. And we had this little like sad moment where she gets rejected and you see the way she looks, but then it clicks on her. Let's just turn into Sarah. And then it's on go. But all while this shit's happening, Sarah gets there. And she looks and sees, and Chris is confused. And we get that, oh, he's sorry moment. While Nancy ends up calling his ass to fall out the third story window. And he dies.
In this scene, one more time, because I'm going to keep saying this. Laura approaches Rochelle with this horrible wig. Again, why did you go to this party, girl? I just would have never showed my face. And it seems like Rochelle is about to get that white tear apology. And it doesn't even, we don't even see it. All we hear is her just say, listen. And then it cuts upstairs to Nancy and Sarah and Chris. And I'm just like, why do we keep cutting Rochelle's scenes? Like, we are not doing this character any type of injustice at all. Like, you might as well have just, I don't know. Like I said, y'all might as well have just kept the whole eating disorder storyline because y'all didn't know what to do with this other one at all.
They really fucking didn't. They didn't. You know what? And they also didn't know how to handle his death because they literally just cut to Sarah at the house looking all distraught. And I don't get how she jumped from point A to point B where she tries to bind Nancy, but she does.
I don't understand why she tried to defend Chris, talking about he was a good guy under it all. Girl, he was a dick from the time you met him. What do you mean?
I so forgot he was. Yeah, that's somebody's child, but he clearly is a fucking menace.
I do have to say, I do like this scene in the way it's set up because Nancy's element is fire. So when you walk into that room, the fire is like literally raging from the fireplace. But I also like when Nancy has her slight manic break after, first of all, because you got to realize, I think Nancy still likes Chris. And that's why it bothers her so much that Sarah is actively pursuing him, because even though he is terrible, and that's why I recommended Death Becomes Her, it seems like either Nancy still likes Chris or Nancy only wants to entertain Chris because Sarah is, and you know, whatever that is. But when she gets rejected at that moment before she pulls the glamour, that moment of just hurt and just like, I don't know.
Baby.
Yeah, I kind of felt for her a little bit, but when she has that moment of her slight manic breakdown and they show her floating on her tiptoes of her boots, chills.
Oh, he's sorry. He's sorry. I love that shit. What a good way to get somebody to go out with that type of moment. And the way them boots was pointed when she was dragging. Beautiful. Beautifully executed. I loved it. I loved every moment. But yeah, we just jumped from that to let's just bind Nancy because she too much. And really, she was doing it on your behalf. Yeah. Some fucked up means.
I feel like Bonnie should have been low-key binded too, because why she cut that picture like that? Like, you need better cutting skills, because she cut Bonnie's arm off. And I know it was supposed to be for Nancy, but me just being a little butthole, I'm like, damn, why you got beef towards Bonnie too? Because you couldn't cut that a little better? Okay.
Bonnie was acting different. And y'all, I don't know why she did what she did, because she wasn't going for what she was going for, because this pisses them off. You know how that shit comes back ×3? Well, guess what? She got ×3 in the goddamn bathroom when they corner her ass, and she's like, "Oh, I'm leaving the circle." Now you want to leave? Okay.
Well, I mean, she doesn't even say it. It's because Nancy has gotten so deep into her powers. She's mind reading this, and it's freaking Sarah out because she like, I never said that to y'all. Like, how do y'all? First of all, well, Bonnie and Rochelle, they don't know. They only know because Nancy said something to them, probably. But Nancy is a fucking mind reader. Like, Sarah literally cannot do anything at this point. They know where she is at all times. They know who she with. They know what she thinking. Like, that's a lot to deal with. And then the fact that Nancy knows that Sarah has binded her, because when would she have known that? She was like, please don't do any more spells on me. Sarah's like, I didn't, but they all know that she did it because Nancy got into the deep. Like, and then it doesn't make it any better that Nancy, well, I guess I could talk about this later because it's coming up. When Sarah has nowhere to go and she goes back to the occult shop and she is confiding in Leori or Lori, whatever her name is. She's like, you know, this girl literally knows everything. Like, I can't do anything, but she's telling her, well, that's because Nancy took this power to a dark place. You can do the same thing, but you could do it and do it the right way. And that's why Nancy is able to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Because she's fueling it with anger.
And the shopkeeper also tells her that it ain't just you. Your mama was a powerful witch. You just got to dig deep. You really got to use what the fuck you got.
I could be stretching this. I could be really reaching. But in some weird way, I'm like, is this, I know her mom is not with us, but I'm like, is this her mom in like a spiritual type? I don't know. Because I'm just like, you know too much about her mother. Like, I feel like there is a prequel in there somewhere. Like, did they know each other and she knows that this is her daughter? Because how did she know that was her ring?
She could have, the lady could have been psychic and also could possibly talk to the dead, because you don't have to necessarily know someone to know their history, but someone's family member, like for instance, I could be sitting here talking to you and you could have a family member sitting right behind you and they might say something and then I'll be like, oh yes, so-and-so said XYZ, or not even say that so-and-so said it, but just say whatever they told me. So and then why'd you look over?
Because the sun started coming, the room was getting brighter and I was like,
because I told you, and that has happened before. I've been on Zoom with people and they're like, yeah, so-and-so standing next to you. Okay. So, I mean, I think the lady was probably psychic.
Yeah, I could take that. I just wonder in some way, like, was she and her mom connected? Like, I just, just very curious, because that would even make sense. Or maybe like with the ring, like if Leori or Lori, whoever her name is, somebody can tell us the correct way to pronounce it, excuse me. Like, were they in the same coven at one point? But, and I like that we don't know. I like that that's something we can just have these type of conversations about.
I do too. And I also like the fact that when they finally tried to get Sarah to invoke Manon, guess what? Nancy said, fuck that shit. It's fire. Boom. The shop explodes. And guess what? Sarah running the fuck off, scared as hell. Even though the shopkeeper like, no, come back. She gone. I don't know why she went home. Cause, ooh, baby. Shit went south. Okay. This house that was, really big house, was a little leaking. Everything is fucking happening there. So she gets home and she gets a little magical phone call and shit. Like, turn on the TV. It's on the news. It's everywhere. They had it looking like her family thought she went back to San Francisco and then they were in a plane crash without any survivors.
That was fucked up.
Because it's like, y'all know that her mom passed. So I don't care. That's just effed up just to throw that at her. I don't care if it was a glamour and y'all was just trying to mess with her. That's messed up. That's a different type of messed up. Like, literally everything that Sarah confided in them, they use against her in this finale.
They really did. Because when these motherfuckers swooped in, like the bitches of Eastwick, because they did then. They were like, oh, let's fly in. Let's fucking levitate. Let's be magical. And you're not flying. It's fucking levitating. It's not that great.
It's like, I wonder how many people picked up that reference and if they know where it's from. I just wonder. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let the people If you caught it, you caught it. It was a good one, though. That was a really good one.
And they're fucking menacing her. And then Nancy's finally like, you know what? Fuck it. You're free to leave. But she don't mean to like leave peacefully. She tells everybody that, again, this is, y'all, I'm sorry, but everything after this point deals with some type of horrible topic dealing with suicide ideation. And that's what they did to her. They're like, oh, she's going to leave and she's going to commit suicide. Go in peace. I'm like, what in the fuck is this? Like, you know what this girl has done? You end up slitting her wrist for her, throwing a letter down with her handwriting that she's
confessing that she did this. But then it really tripped me out because you go so low to be like, you killed Chris, you killed your mom while you were coming out of her. I couldn't even go that low. Nancy, that's ass whooping words, actually. Like, Sarah, that would have gave me all the ammo just to go in on you. Just no, honey. I mean, but I'm sorry.
I ain't excusing what she's saying, but if you beefing, you beefing.
When Rochelle was like, why isn't she using any powers on us? And Nancy was like, it's because she was weak. Every time that line comes up, I go in my carry bag and I'd be like, and Eve was weak. And Eve was weak. Say it, woman.
Not her. Not them dirty pillows.
Mama, why'd you tell me, Mama?
Oh, shit. And you know what? Going from that, they just fuck over this house, okay? There is fucking insects, snakes. They are tormenting the fuck out of her. And I'm like
literally trying to drive her to unalive herself. Just because I told you guys before this moment happened, I was having hallucinations of seeing all these snakes, all these bugs. First of all, the rats. When the rat was on her shoulder and the other one just peeked out her hair, that'll do it. You do not have to worry about me. You do not have to worry.
It literally did me. This. It was like,
no, absolutely not. No.
Survivors, you couldn't see, but I like put myself in the corner of the screen and just fucking stared because I have really big eyes. That's exactly what that rat did. Maslow, sweetheart, please get off of my knee. I don't know what you want. I'm not feeding you till I'm done. Okay, I love you. But yeah. And you know what? She's really weak and she doesn't think she can invoke man out. But then her mama in that picture with the wind blowing and the hat going and those curtains flowing. Like, you can do it. Don't be afraid. Reach inside yourself. And she ends up invoking mana. We don't know that she's done it. We just see and we're like, okay, she might be doing this. But then we pan back to all the girls, to the little trio. And they're like, go up there and check on her. They don't want to.
Yeah, it's like at this point, I feel like Bonnie and Rochelle maybe was having second thoughts or they was just tired I don't know. But when they threatened, when Nancy threatened them, I would have been like, girl, who the fuck is you talking to? Because I feel like at this point, we can all make some shit shake, but I guess not. They was really scared of her.
Yeah, truly. And I don't know why. I mean, yeah, she threatened to slit your throat, but there's two of y'all and one of her. Take this bitch down. But fuck it. They go up there and check, and guess what the fuck they get? They see themselves in the mirror, and it was reflected ×3. So Bonnie's face, horribly scarred like a motherfucker.
I wish they would have had her face look like this from Jump. Her face should have looked like Freddy from Jump. Even if it was just like a little part on some Harvey Dent stuff from The Dark Knight. Like, I could have accepted that.
I could have too, but I kind of like the fact that her face wasn't horribly scarred. Because like
I said, I know, Brittany, I know you're gonna say what you say, but Neve Campbell is gorgeous. So I just don't buy people thinking just because her back and her arms are burnt that she's a freak. It's like half the time you don't, because of them uniforms, you don't see that anyway. Like, it would have made more sense if it went up her neck. And maybe it didn't even have to be on her whole face. Like I said, it could have been part of her cheek. Like, you know how school kids do when people have deformities. They are evil. They are cruel. So if you could actually see it, and maybe like some days, like it pussed up and it bled and things like that. I seeing John Nays making faces like that. I feel like that would have invoked more reason for y'all to bully her like that versus her just having a regular face.
I'm not going to give on Neve Campbell for a second. I'm going to go somewhere else with it, surprisingly. It makes sense that it was just there though. So I had it on my arm and leg. This is me being from personal experience. It doesn't fucking matter. If these people grew up with you, they're gonna pick with you. It's something that's noticeable to you. So it might not even be that big of a deal to anybody else. It was to them, but there was something to pick on her anyways, because she was already othered. First, people are jerks. Right. They will pick on that. They will pick on this. Even if they can't see it, they know it exists. If they have seen it, they will pick on it. They will talk about you because she can't have her arms out. She can't wear open tops. Like, she can't be a girl of that time.
Right. No, so, and I feel that, but I'm saying, like, majority of the time these people would see her, they're in school uniform anyway. And the way those uniforms are, her burns are covered. That's what I'm saying. So it's not like they would see that anyway. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, unless you hanging with this girl, and from the impression, y'all not. So it's not like y'all seeing these burns all the time. So that's where my disconnect is, because you're not seeing them anyway. So it's just
it's a twofold reason to me. It's because one, the burns exist and they know they're there, and two, of the way that she's internalizing the burns. Because when we first meet her, it's the way she's hunched over. It's the way that she's given a disheveled appearance. All of that would make her unappealing. So it's not the fact that her face is horribly scarred. It's the fact she's horribly scarred.
Right. And I get that. I understand that. But I'm just saying, I still feel like I would have seen her and been like, oh, it's a pretty face. Oh, you got burns too? Oh, damn. I'm
being honest. It's probably just because you're not a bad person.
Yeah, I can see that too. But when I was little, I would talk about people, especially if my other friends would. And then, like, even now, like, I'll get to know somebody.
I talk shit about people all the time.
Like, I'll get to know somebody and then my opinions change because I actually gave them a chance. Like, even now, like, people can be talking about somebody, and on my own, I would get to know them and be like, oh, okay, I kind of see why you act like that. We ain't friends, but I can tolerate you. If you need to talk or blah, 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 I can talk to you. Like, that's fine. But yeah.
Damn. Okay. They all run away. They run away.
Okay, dip like shit.
And now guess what? In this corner, we got Nancy. In the other corner, we have Sarah. It's time for a magical motherfucking showdown, because they is fighting like a motherfucker. Like hell. It was a great scene when she was laying there and had glamored herself into the wall. I don't know why that took Nancy by surprise, but it did. And
I mean, because I guess she didn't expect her to have her power back, and then she don't know that Sarah did all this yet. So she just like, I'm looking for this little punk. Oh, shit, you doing this? When was you able to do this?
And but so she ends. I do too. And so she ends up kicking the shit out of Nancy and binding her ass.
I fully thought Nancy was gonna go through the window, not the window, the mirror. I fully thought she was gonna go through the mirror and like be trapped in there forever in eternal hell. I would have loved that, but that's not what happened.
The mirror dimension. But yeah, I bind you, Nancy, from doing harm to others. Harm against yourself and harm against other people. And we're like, okay. And the film kind of ends with Nancy in the crazy house. Nancy in the psychiatric hospital. So I don't call it that. And we're like, damn, what the fuck? Because Bonnie and Rochelle, they come by the crib. They're like, hey, you want to do some shit together?
The audacity. Just the full audacity that y'all would even stop by this girl's house. Are y'all serious?
You just tried to kill me.
Y'all just told me that my dad and stepmom died in a plane crash, and then gonna try to, it was just glamour. Bitch.
And guess what? She got them asses, because when they were sitting there talking shit, talking about she probably ain't got her powers anyways. And then the fucking sky changed and the lightning, the tree band, and all the shit was going south. And she was like, ha, fuck you, bitch. I still got mine because I used it the right way.
Not even that. I had this since I was born, bitch. This is natural for me. Y'all, like I said at the jump, you needed me. Period. Like that's why you don't have powers anymore.
And she hits him with the smooth ass warning. Be careful. You don't want to end up like Nancy. Right. With a nice little smile. And we see Nancy, like I said before, in a psychiatric hospital, talking about, I have flowers. He gave me powers. I can fly. I'm flying. I'm flying. I'm flying. And yeah, they end up giving her ass the shot. and we get like a little pan out of her room.
So here's my thing. Nancy still has powers because she's just blinded. And from what I know, when Sarah dies, and if Nancy is still alive, then that will release that spell. But I just wonder, like, is there a way she can get around that? I don't know. But I'm like,
killing Nancy or Nancy letting it go.
But no, I'm saying other way around. Nancy still has powers, but Sarah will have to die for those powers for that spell to dissipate.
Oh yeah,
so can Nancy get around that? I wonder, is there a way for her to get around that?
No, unless she convinces Sarah she's a great person to undo it. And I would never believe her. Ever in my God-given life. Ever. And that's the end of The Craft.
Ratings.
Okay, so on IMDb, this film got 6.4 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes got 57%. And on TV Guide, I'm sorry, that took me by surprise. 55%. And 94% of Google users like this movie. Honestly, I really enjoy this movie. I could keep going back and rewatching it. This one I know I saw younger, and so it always sticks to me. And like you said before, Ashley, I always see new things. This is a good movie. I wouldn't watch it all of the time though, because it does kind of irk my nerves about how they treated Rochelle/Rachel True. Really fucking bothers me. But I will watch it again. So for that, I'd have to give it a smooth. I'm taking a lot of points off for just how they treated Rachel True.
Right.
75 tickets.
You know what? I'm tired of you, because literally for the same reason, I also gave it 75 points. Yes, I grew up with this movie. Yes, it is a cult classic, but when you just know everything of behind the scenes of what was going on, that just puts a sour taste in my mouth. And I hate that she was treated that way. Like, even like we said, to this day is still getting treated this way. And I hate that I have to discredit everybody's efforts for that. But y'all know me, what did I do with the Goonies? Just because Heather Langenkamp wasn't casted, I snatched fucking points. And I low-key want to snatch more points because I rewatched it and imagine, hey, actually I am going to snatch more points from the Goonies. We'll just talk about that when we do tops and bottoms. I'm not going to think about it today. But like I said, I'm giving this, I'm sorry, because that really pissed me off. That really pissed me off. And the fact that I sat through that 2-hour movie again, imagining Heather Langenkamp, and got pissed. But I understand, because yes, she was older than was kids, but no, it pissed me off. But as far as the crowd, 75 tickets.
We all wait with bated breath.
I'm gonna give this movie a 65. I feel like I probably would have felt differently if I watched this younger. It wasn't anything wrong with it per se. It just seemed long to me once it got to a certain point.
How long is this movie?
It's not 2 hours. It's an hour and like
hour and 45.
Yeah,
45.
Oh no, I never knew. I was
on
genuinely asking because I never knew.
Yeah,
it depends on the cut.
Okay.
The one I watched was an hour and like 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, there were certain parts that I really liked. I liked that Sarah made what's it called her bitch. Bonnie made me tear up when she was, you know, talking about take my scars. That was kind of sad. And you know, I don't know. It was cool. I liked it. I don't hate it.
Right. No. I understand. Yeah.
I understand completely, which is why you can never give me shit about the Goonies.
No.
Okay, before these two start arguing, because we don't have time for that today, let's go right ahead and get into the souvenir shop.
Thanks for writing. Before you go, take a detour into the souvenir shop.
Okay, so for the souvenir shop, we have to tread very, very light, or my idea, have to tread very, very lightly. Like I said, I love my crystals. I love my stones. I just love all of that stuff. But I would love it if we can, like how I said in the Q line earlier, maybe if you had necklaces, kind of similar to what I have on. It's just a regular necklace, but the charm in the middle is just an open circle. If you can insert a gem, a stone, a crystal into it, but it just represents one of the elements, like fire, water, air, earth. Just one of those. Keep it real simple so we ain't doing too fucking much.
Listen, I'm not wilding on this one just because I'm not gonna piss off the Wiccans. Not about to happen. Mm-mm. But I do think for this one, we should do something with candles and telling people, like, have a little the craft pamphlet to teach people about what kind of candles to use, and leave the fucking black candles alone. You don't play with those. That's a no.
Especially not you virgins.
Oh my God.
I swear to God, you see a black candle and you ain't done the nasty, leave it alone. Don't light it.
Black candles really aren't that bad though.
Oh, I know that. I was just making a hocus pocus funny.
I know. But I'm just saying, depending on the context in which you're using said candle, everything has meaning. Everything. I should do it. That could be my contribution. I can give said class. You know.
Yeah,
you could.
Yeah, no, I'm literally telling you, like I said, even though you said what you said about this movie, you did, but I was fully expecting you to almost be like Cody from the horror bandwagon and the OSHA alerts. I was fully expecting that throughout the entire commentary, and it happened in moments, but that's what I was fully expecting. Like, I was ready for you to be like, actually, da 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 da, and not obviously because you can't say everything, but actually, da 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 da. But
it's actually because in this movie, it wasn't very like certain things were like okay, but a lot of things were more so like I don't like. It's the whole doing everything as a group thing. Like, if you're doing it by yourself, then I could probably give more like insight tidbits, OSHA alerts, whatever. But like the whole group spell shit.
Not for you. Y'all ready to get into these park announcements?
I'm ready.
Yep.
That was our 4th movie in this 5-movie month. We still got one more to go before we wrap this theme up and get into a new theme. That movie next week will be The Heathers, and I, once again, just like I always am excited to get into this one and just break this one down. If you want to keep up with us on social media, you can hit us up at D180 Podcast on IG, Twitter, TikTok. If you want some exclusive goodies, if you want to get episodes way before they drop on Friday when the park officially opens, you can join us on Patreon. Also, leave us a review. If you like what we're doing here, if you don't like what we're doing here, we're always open to see what you have to say. So definitely go ahead and give us a review. And it helps other people find us and become survivors in the park. Other than that, we have to shut this park down for the night.
Bye-bye.
I guess this is goodbye.
I'll see you soon.